Wednesday, March 18th at Draftcade starting at KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM Sports Station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you and yours. We do have some Chiefs topics today centered around the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. We'll get to that throughout the course of the show. There are a lot of stories being written about Darren Peterson. We are going to talk about him at some point in today's show as well. Free agency moves are happening. We are going to begin the show talking about the Jaylen Waddle trade that sends him from the Miami Dolphins to the Denver Broncos. We got a lot to get into in today's show. We appreciate you guys. If you are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, hopefully you are making smart decisions. Hopefully you're taking care of yourself. Let's get into it. Before we do, though, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, we need you to go stop by and see our friends over at the other place. Maybe you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You're getting yourself a green beer. Maybe you're headed downtown to see Cardi B coming up later today. Whatever you got planned for Tuesday, make sure you go stop by, see our friends over at the other place for a Tenderloin Tuesday. They got a half-pound hand-breaded pork tenderloin with the fry, $8.99. Best deal in Kansas City. You also can get a 25-ounce domestic mug for just $5. Go stop by and see our friends over at the other place. So let me read to you guys the tweet from Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter reported that the Broncos, they are receiving Jaylen Waddle. Denver is going to receive the star wide receiver. They also are going to get the Dolphins' fourth-round selection. That is the 11th pick in the fourth round. Miami is going to receive the 30th overall pick. They also get a third and a fourth. It is the 30th pick in both the third and the fourth round. So it is basically a 1 and a 3 for Jaylen Waddle by the time you end up doing the pick swap. I want to play for you guys what Adam Schefter had to say about the trade when he went on the Pat McAfee show earlier today to give his reaction.
With Josh Allen and Drake May, and another team in the New York Jets that has half the first-round picks over the next 2 years. So if you're the Miami Dolphins, you might as well stick to a plan and apply that thinking and follow through on it. And really, they're not going to win the division this year. Breaking news, right? So you might as well start gearing up for 2027 and beyond. And that's what they're doing by moving off a player like Jaylen Waddle, who obviously had suitors all during the season last year at the trade deadline. The Broncos tried to get him. The Bills made calls on him. The Dolphins got offers then. Previous regime, new regime comes in. And now Jaylen Waddle, obviously, you're listening again. And the trade gets done this morning. The agreement gets made.
So, Rob, let's react to this because you and I purposely didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about it. Now, I know you. I know your sports opinions very well. I am going to guess. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you don't like this because of the draft pick compensation that was given up. I don't love the trade. I would say that I like the trade. I also understand the trade from the Broncos' perspective. I think the Broncos are operating from two separate places. I think one is the could have been. The Broncos probably should have went to the Super Bowl last year. But the moment Bo Nix was injured, it really killed any chance that they had of being a Super Bowl team. I would also say, if you were looking back at the Denver Broncos and trying to find what their biggest issue was, I would say, number one, they were not a great rushing team. Let's see how they plan on addressing just being a better running team in 2026 than they were in 2025. I also don't think that the Broncos had great weapons. This is also where I think you have seen most teams that think they have the answer to quarterback, they usually make one of these kind of moves with their quarterback on a rookie contract. If you remember, Kansas City was in this boat. Seemed like it was a long time ago, but the Chiefs ended up making this move to go get Frank Clark when they needed to retool their defense. A lot of teams that are good football teams that also feel like they have the answer at quarterback, they're usually taking a chance when your window is where the Broncos is right now. The AFC appears to be wide open right now. There are certainly moves being made across the board. I think the division's going to be even tougher in 2026 than it was in 2025. I think the Chiefs are going to be a better team this upcoming season than they were last year. Be tough for the Chiefs to be worse. They won 6 games and have the 9th overall pick. I also think the Raiders are going to be better in 2026 than they were in 2025. They had the number 1 overall pick. Now, that's not me telling you I think the Raiders are making the playoffs or anything, but they probably go from the first pick to, I don't know, like the 8th or 9th pick. That is an improvement. So I think the division is going to be tougher in 2026 than it was in 2025, and you got to keep up. And for an organization who the Broncos had made 0 moves in free agency, they had not made a move yet. Kansas City's been making moves. The Chargers have been making moves. The Raiders are making moves left and right. The division is improving around them. The Broncos were not improving so far this offseason. In fact, they were losing some key pieces. John Franklin Myers, for example, one of their pass rushers from last year, he signed elsewhere. They had been kind of taking away from the team. I think the Broncos needed to make a move. Now, some of this is just a matter of preference. I like Jaylen Waddle. I think Jaylen Waddle is a good receiver. I don't think he's a true number 1. I don't think he's on that high end, but I think he's a low end one. I would put him somewhere in that Chris Godwin range. He's somewhere in that 25 to 30 range when we're talking about wide receivers, maybe a little bit better. So if you got a late first round pick and you can't really wait for that pick to develop, you're trying to capitalize right now on your quarterback that has a rookie contract, and also the contract that the Broncos now have for Jaylen Waddle, it's not really a bad deal. If you look at the numbers and the finances, it's essentially a $3 for $50 million deal for Jaylen Waddle. I would sign Jaylen Waddle to a 3 for $50 deal and not really hesitate, especially when you look at the money that Romeo Doubs is getting, for example, or Alec Pierce is getting this offseason. 3 for $50 on Jaylen Waddle is actually a pretty decent contract. I like the move. Yes, I think it's a little bit of an overpay. I don't think there's a question in that. It's not just the 1 pick. You also gave up a 3rd-round pick. I mean, you paid for Jaylen Waddle. You also got to assume the contract for Jaylen Waddle. But I always thought that the Broncos were going to make a move for a receiver. I thought they were in the play to try to go get A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown is still in Philadelphia. I now question how many teams are left to even get a real opportunity to go pick up A.J. Brown. Now that you would think Buffalo is out of the conversation, you would now have to assume that Denver is also out of the conversation as they go make a trade. There aren't too many people left to dance with if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, really outside of the New England Patriots. That's probably the only team still looking for a partner when it comes to trading a potential first-round pick for a wide receiver. I think the Broncos are looking at this as potentially being their window right now with their quarterback being cheap for these next couple of years and picking up a 27-year-old wide receiver who I think comes in and can be your wide receiver number 1 and gives you a pretty legitimate 1-2 punch, now pairing Jaylen Waddle with Courtland Sutton. I don't dislike this move, Rob, but I am just going to guess because I know you. You hate this trade because it involved draft picks. I know you. What's your thoughts on this Jaylen Waddle move?
I know you're thinking I'm going to come on here, be doom and gloom. They gave up picks. How dare they? Da-da-da-da. But we actually see this in a very similar light. So I'm happy about that. We don't have to argue because I do think the Broncos overpaid. And that's not to say Jaylen Waddle's not a good player or any of those things. But I also think the Broncos are in a very different position than like the Chargers or the Chiefs or the Bills or name another contender. The Broncos can afford an overpay right now because they're still riding with Bo Nix on a rookie contract. So it's not the same. I understand the talent of the player and all the things, but your analogy is perfect. This is their Frank Clark deal. They think their defense is good. They think they have their quarterback. He's on a rookie contract. They're going to maximize the rookie window, and they feel like more weaponry is the best path to do that. So they went out and got, the second best wide receiver we think's available? Because I don't know what the deal is with A.J. Brown price-wise. He's one of the best receivers actually available right now for trade. And again, you just paid 105, 110 cents on the dollar, but you can afford to overpay when Bo Nix is making pennies on the dollar. So we see it very similar. It's an overpay, but an overpay I think the Broncos can stomach because of their cap situation.
I think the Broncos have to be looking at it right now as the chair right now for the AFC is wide open. I don't know if you can automatically sit Kansas City in that anymore. Now, they have won the AFC, 3 of the last 4 seasons. I still look at them as being a playoff team. I still look at them as being a contending team. But in the Rocky IV analogy, he's a man, he bleeds. When you win 6 games, you're a little bit vulnerable. At least that's the feeling around the National Football League, is that you're a little bit vulnerable. Now, I like the Chiefs offseason. I like the moves they are making to retool and get back to their position. But you got to fight back for that crown. If you're the Broncos probably feel like they're the best team in the division, and they are trying to make a move that potentially gets them over the hump. You now look at their offense. You got probably a top 12 quarterback in the NFL with Bo Nix. I think you have one of the better 1-2 punches at wide receiver in the AFC. Let's see how the Broncos improve their run game, because I just don't know if you can go to the Super Bowl with the lack of explosiveness that they had last year in their rushing offense. But the Broncos, I think, are a really good roster. They're really well coached. I like this move for them to go out and get Jaylen Waddle. We are going to be joined by Ryan Edwards in Denver coming up in the 3 o'clock hour of the show, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the trade that sends Jaylen Waddle from Miami to the Denver Broncos. Coming up on the other side, let's talk a little bit of college basketball, as today is the unofficial start of March Madness, with the first 4 getting going in Dayton. We'll talk about Kansas and Darren Peterson next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
CertaPro Painters recently painted my home and exceeded my expectations. I booked a free estimate, reviewed a detailed proposal, and scheduled my project on the spot. When you choose CertaPro Painters, you're partnering with trusted local professionals with over 70,000 5-star reviews. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money line, spread, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for these bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the upcoming tournament. Guys, come on now. You know I'm going to be taking Kansas, but also some other teams to watch out for. I'm a Big 12 homer, so I'm a believer in Houston, Iowa State, and Arizona might be the best team. They could go all the way. FanDuel, it's time to dance. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet to expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been nonstop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,500 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And that's just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months, and people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out, when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford. 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
But don't wait, these offers end soon.
My friends at Smokehouse Barbecue have 2 new items that you need to try. First, meet the Pickle Jack Sandwich. We're taking tender smoked ham and melted pepper jack cheese, piled high with our signature pickle fries. It's crunchy, spicy, and smoky as well. And if you need to warm up, how about some Smokehouse chili? It's not your average recipe. It's loaded with our famous chopped burnt ends and savory sausage. And don't forget carryout, which you can order at smokehousebbq.com. Visit Smokehouse Barbecue at Independence, Zona Rosa, and Gladstone. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now, Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic.
It's almost like a university under siege.
Listen to and follow Campus Files. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Join Cody and Gold live from 10 until 2 at International Tap House in the Crossroads this Thursday and Friday to watch the tournament games, along with our friends at Circus Sports. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
This just popped up on my television feed, so I just want to read it to you. Rob, can I tell you the True TV television schedule for today? They are having an Impractical Jokers marathon until 4 o'clock. They are then going to show the movie Hoosiers. That is then going to lead into the first 4. That is the plan for television today on True TV. You know, I have a theory that everybody has a favorite show like Impractical Jokers. Maybe a 30-minute, 1 hour. I don't really know what genre it is, like American Pickers or Ice Haul Trucking, or I really like the show Bar Rescue or Pawn Stars. I don't know exactly what genre of television that would be into because it's not reality TV, but it kind of is reality TV. But Impractical Jokers, Mythbusters, those kind of shows, there's an Impractical Jokers marathon that is going to be going on until 4 o'clock. If you would like to tune in, that is going to lead you into the movie Hoosiers and also tonight, the first 4.
This is a dumb question to ask. Do people actually watch Impractical Jokers?
I'm assuming somebody listening right now, Impractical Jokers is one of their favorite little 30 minutes, I got time to kill television shows.
Because I never hear anything about that show other than during these 3 weeks. And it's everywhere. They're like, can you believe he did this? And then it just disappears off the face of the earth in their 360 days. Like, do people really check for True TV to get Impractical Jokers like that? It just... They must. They keep pumping out these shows, but I am stunned at its popularity because it doesn't exist in my world outside these 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think you're hating a little bit on the popularity of Impractical Jokers. Impractical Jokers, Rob, has had 328 episodes.
That's a bad barometer. They're like Survivor has a ton of episodes.
I know, Survivor is a super popular television show. I'm just saying is somebody watching it, if they done had 12 seasons of this, somebody loves Impractical Jokers. Text line, you tell me. I've never seen this show before, so I'm not hating on it. I'm not bigging it up. I don't know much about it. I just know that everybody has a favorite show that is in this category of television shows. Mine is Bar Rescue. Something about seeing John Taffer go in there and yell at those people, and then you get to learn why their business is struggling. He turns their business around, and then you get to see what the new bar looks like. It gets me going every single time. I also really like Pawn Stars. You know, they just walk in there and they just got an original Vincent Van Gogh painting and finding how much it's worth, and they tell you the story of it. That's my show. But if your show is Impractical Joker, hey, I'm not nothing wrong with that. I hope that you enjoy the show. I do want to go back really quickly talking about Jaylen Waddle, and then we'll move on and we'll talk about Darren Peterson. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying that this is wrong. But I want to read to you a tweet from someone at Pro Football Focus. The tweet was, I understand the selection, but you also have to remember that that is a lot to pay when you were in the same division as Patrick Mahomes II, which all of that makes perfect sense. I get it. I also think the perception around the league is Kansas City weak today. I've been rewatching The Wire, and there's that sense where the Barksdale Empire is crumbling a little bit, and Marlowe is trying to take over, so now you're going to bang on the corners a little bit. Now, again, I think Kansas City is going to turn things around. I think they're making the postseason this year. But if you're the Broncos and you were clearly better than Kansas City last year, you've matched up really well against Kansas City the last couple of years. It took last-second missed field goals and blocked field goals, and you feel like you can match up a little bit. I understand the philosophy of trying to strike while the iron's hot, especially when right now the crown looks like no one is sitting at it. Either the Patriots have sat at that table, at the head of the table for 15 years, or the Chiefs have sat right there at the head of the table. I do not know who the best team is in the AFC heading into it. You could tell me 5 different answers, and I wouldn't really fight you on all of those things. If you told me you thought it was Buffalo, I mean, I guess. If you told me you thought it's the Patriots, and because they won the AFC, they get to be the favorites heading into it. If you told me you thought it was the Broncos, if you told me it was Kansas City and the feeling that they are going to bounce back this year, I mean, that's probably it. Maybe you could argue Baltimore. Let's see how they continue to handle things. But right now, it just feels kind of like the Eastern Conference in the NBA. It just feels like there's some good teams, but they all got major question marks, and we'll see who can put it together and whose draft do we like and who can get healthy and who can stay healthy. So I understand the Broncos feeling like it's our time now. Let's make a move that could potentially get us over the hump, and let's try to have 2 1,000-yard receivers. I get their logic.
Like I said, I don't think the logic is bad by the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos right now have the best wide receiver room in the AFC West. Like, that's what they did today. Between Cortland Sutton and Jaylen Waddle, they now have the best wide receivers in the division. For a team that won the division last year, trusts their defense, has an offensive-minded coach, and a quarterback on a rookie contract. I understand the logic. I do think it's an overpay, but I don't think it's the world's worst overpay, considering the situation they are in. If you are a Broncos fan today, to your point, you could easily convince yourself that you are the head of the table in the AFC. Hey, we got better, and everyone else in the AFC either took a slight step back or maintained. Like that, it's an easy argument to make if you're in Denver today. And we'll go to Denver later. Maybe that's the exact argument they will make. But I don't think it's a terrible idea for the Broncos. I just think it's a slight overpay by the Broncos.
Text line is really upset at you for hating on Impractical Jokers. I want to be clear. Carrington was not hating on Impractical Jokers. Robert was hating on Impractical Jokers, because I know that you like to lump the drive into, and there's a lot of things I'm willing to stand with Rob on. There's a lot of things I'll stand toe-to-toe with my man Rob Britton. But him cracking on Impractical Jokers, that's on him. I've never seen the show. I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I don't know anything about the show other than it comes on True TV. That's all I know. Rob was the one saying you guys don't watch the show. Robert A. Britton is who you need to direct all of your frustration to. The text line is also throwing in some of their favorite. Again, I don't really know what category of shows this would count in. Someone said my favorite show like that is Diners, Drive-In and Dives. That's certainly a very popular one. Someone else said Wildin' Out is their show. Have you seen Wildin' Out before?
I mean, is it still on?
It is definitely still on television.
Wildin' Out was Nick Cannon when we were.
It was, yeah.
It's not still Nick Cannon, is it?
It is still Nick Cannon.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. Wildin' Out is still a thing.
I had no idea. I
watch it every once in a while. I don't watch it all the time, but I do still watch the show from time to time.
It was probably when I was like middle to high school. I watched Wildin' Out. I had no idea Wildin' Out was still on the air. 413
episodes of Wildin' Out. It's been on for 21 seasons. Wildin' Out started in July 28th of 2005 is when it first came out.
That was my middle school time. That's middle school and high school. I liked Wildin' Out. I did not know it still existed in the current timeline.
Someone on the text line says you almost lost a listener if you'd have went on about Survivor. Again, didn't hate on Survivor. I was not a part of that. Rob's opinion or Rob's opinion. Don't hold me accountable for Rob's opinion. Not on that kind of stuff. Now, you know what? I'll stand with my guy on the running back stuff. I don't agree with them, but I'll stand with them. I'll protect his running back takes. But him trying to knock on Empiric, I can't. No, I can't. I'm not a part of that. I don't have anything to do with that. I'm leaving him out to himself. Please direct all of those things to @Robert L. Britton on social media. Please don't redirect them to me. I didn't have nothing to do with it. All right, two things I want to play for you guys. The first thing I want to play for you guys is Hunter Dickinson went on a podcast. Now, I don't really know why you would interview Hunter Dickinson. It feels to me like you're running out of potential NBA guests when it comes to your podcast. But, hey, I'm not here to judge. Hunter Dickinson was a good college player. He's in the NBA. Maybe that's your man's. You know him. He's telling stories about his time at KU. It is what it is. So Hunter Dickinson was on a podcast, and he was talking about his time at the University of Kansas. Here's what he said.
I mean, obviously, again, they just they expect greatness, but the team was just like, bro, like, we didn't even feel like we had support. And it's never as bad as it seems. Like, we had great support. Like, Allen was always rocking, and like we had a ton of fans that were supporting us, but we also had like a ton of people who were just hating. Like, we would always make the joke after we'd win a game. You'd go on Instagram and see how many comments we had. Yeah. It would be like 30, 40 Instagram comments saying that. And some of those would even be like, we won. Yeah, we won a game. Whoop-de-doo. On a loss, we would have like 500 comments. So just like
going in.
Yeah. And just like, and so for me, like, it got to a point where I was like, I didn't like playing.
Yeah.
Like, we would come to the gym and it would feel such like a job. Like, the games got to a point where it's like, bro, I don't even want to like play right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like one of the ones that handled it better. Like, so you can only imagine how some of the dudes are feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and you the one averaging 18 and 11. So I can only imagine, bro. I can only imagine.
And so it just got so bad to a point where like dudes were just like, yo, they were through with it.
Yeah.
They were just like through with it. They were like, yo, just hurry up and have this. Like, obviously it was my last year, so like I'm like, yo, we gotta try to fix it. Like,
find a way.
I was trying my way, but some dudes are just like, get me out of here, bro. They hit the portal again.
That was Hunter Dickinson. He was on the Run Your Race podcast talking about his last year at Kansas. A couple of different things. Some of this is going to defend Hunter Dickinson. Some of this is going to tell him this is what you signed up for. I do think that now, because college players are being paid and we are talking about them and treating them like they're pros because they are pros, I think we are forgetting that they are also 19 years old. So how Hunter Dickinson is going to read and receive criticism is going to be drastically different than how Travis Kelce hears and receives criticisms. Travis Kelce is 36 years old. Hunter Dickinson is 20 years old. So maturity, experience, all of those things, I think plays a major factor. So I do think in some ways that we have started to apply our NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball logic on these individuals, and we are now putting them on, I don't want to call them children, but They're kids. They're not adults yet. Now, I know the argument some of you were going to make, but you were 19 once. You were 20 once. Were you an adult? Did you feel mature enough as an adult? And did you feel that same way when you were 25? Because I'm guessing when you were 25, you look back and then you realize that 19, 20 years old, how little you actually knew and that you grew into maturity and experience over time. I think that is really, really important when it comes to this. I also think that in a lot of ways, Kansas fans made Hunter Dickinson the face of a disappointing Kansas year. A year that's fine by almost every other metric, but when you're used to filet mignon and the absolute finest cuts of steak, and that's what Kansas basketball has been for basically our entire lives, that when you're a 7 seed, the way that Kansas was last year, and you are the team's best player, you are going to be the one that wears it, and Hunter is the one that wore it last year. Now, this is the other side, and this is where I do think that these kids have to assume a little bit more of responsibility. Bro, this is the life you signed up for. And I hope that the people that are around you, the parents, the agents, the handlers, all of these people that are also rich because of your ability, I hope that they tell you that this is the life that you signed up for. I tell you guys the story sometimes. You know, there was a time where Danny and I were on middays. I did not want to accept afternoons. It was already enough pressure and stress. Afternoon, it got even worse. I didn't want to accept the job. Somebody told me some of the best career advice, like you signed up for people to care about your opinions. So this is the path. Now, it took time to understand and deal with it, and now the text line, it is what it is. It just doesn't really bother me. It wasn't always like that, though. The text line sometimes is mean. But again, that's the life that I signed up for. I do think we need to tell them this, but I do think, at least in this part, and I'm not saying people are going to change. We're too far past that. The toothpaste is out of the tube. I think it is a lot more difficult telling these kids to turn off social media than we think it is. They've always grown up with it. We are old enough to remember a life without the internet. We are old enough to remember a life without Facebook. I remember when we first got our first computer. Rob, to let you know how long ago it was when my family got our first computer, we got our computer from the Montgomery Ward outside of Bannister Mall. And having the internet in your house was just like a mind-blowing, you have a computer? I remember when I first signed up for Facebook. Imagine if you grew up 15 years after me. It's always been a part of your life. You always grew up on MySpace. You always grew up on Facebook. You always grew up on Instagram and Snapchat or whatever the new social media is of the time. I think just simply telling these kids, turn your phone off, I think it's a little bit more difficult and complicated than this. I don't think I'm changing anybody's mind. It is what it is when we come to this. And we have determined, hey, this is the trade-off. You are a millionaire for playing basketball. These are the hazards of the job, so to speak. But I do think at least when it comes to college athletes and college students, man, we got to remember that they are 19, 20, 21 years old, and how they handle criticism and how they handle stress is just going to be drastically different as you continue to grow and mature and experience it more and more. So I don't think anybody's going to feel any sympathy for Hunter Dickinson. He made a lot of money to play basketball at the University of Kansas, and I think he would tell you that he didn't live up to the expectation. And him saying that I didn't want to play in the games, I mean, it also just goes to show why people turned on you the way that they did. But the way that he described social media there is 100% accurate. Hey, after we won, nobody really said anything. But then when we lost, everybody would jump on us. I can understand how that gets in your head as a college student and you can't seem to turn it off. And I think it was very clear last year with Kansas that the weight of everything and them not meeting the expectations absolutely drowned that team once we got to the second half of the season.
I also think, and what Hunter is saying there is pretty similar to what we heard at the end of the season last season from Coleman Hawkins. Like Coleman Hawkins, it was a little bit different, but he was talking about how the pressure of everyone knowing how much money he was making at K-State really drowned his ability to play well at Kansas State. Do you know what I think both Hunter and Coleman Hawkins are victims of? They are two of the faces of the changing college sports. When you think of college basketball and college football exited the previous, tenure, the previous timeline, and entered the NIL era, who are the guys that jump out as two of the first that made big checks in college sports? Hunter Dickinson did a whole Instagram vlog about where he's going to go to get a nice NIL check. And Coleman Hawkins, we found out his money. It is not surprising to me the two big-name first college athletes we found out about their paychecks struggled because they were the first. This was not a problem for people in 2021. We didn't know how much they were getting paid, and now we did. So to your point about a little bit of a defensive Hunter, which is crazy because a year ago Hunter drove me insane, still kind of does. I do think the fact that he was the face of the NIL era and was one of the first people to be very outspoken about, yeah, I'm getting paid, made him very easy to hate. And I do think that wears on people. Even if you are, I know people are saying he's 23. It doesn't matter the age. That grinds on people.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I don't think I'm changing anyone's mind. Like this feeling right here, he was mature enough to sign $1 million contract, not to mention his profession involves people betting with their money on performance of teams. People will obviously be pissed. I mean, the toothpaste is out the tube at this point when it comes to being a college athlete. But I do think that we as fans and we as the media, we do have to acknowledge our part in this. And maybe this is the social contract and there's nothing we can do about it. But we have signed up for the moment you receive financial compensation, people feel like they can talk to you any way that they want to and that they are warranted because you get paid to do it. We don't really feel that way about other things. You don't feel like you can talk to the waiter however you want to because she receives a paycheck. You don't feel like you can talk to other people because, oh, well, you get paid to do this, so you have to put up with it. It is just a very weird line that we have created when it comes to athletes. Now, again, Hunter Dickinson didn't live up to the expectations, and he has been made as the face of what was wrong with last year's team. But I do think enough of these college athletes kind of keep telling us how bad it is. And I don't even think enough of them are telling us this. Last year, when Coleman Hawkins was telling us this, like I think a lot of these players are telling and communicating to us, hey, it's bad. When I go on my phone after a loss, it's really, really bad. Enough people are telling them. I'm just saying maybe we should listen to them. Maybe we should hear what they are saying. Maybe what they are saying is important. And I don't think as a society, in one vein, we can talk about the importance of mental health and then not acknowledge that so many of these teenagers and young kids are receiving terrible message in waves directly in their hand at all times of the day. I don't know how you can turn that off if you're a teenager or a young adult.
I also would imagine that these guys are suffering whiplash. Like, we'll use Hunter for the example. I imagine when he committed to Kansas, Jayhawk fan 1234 on social media was psyched, was tweeting how great this is, the top player in the portal's a Jayhawk, and Hunter Dickinson, when he searched his name, saw Jayhawk fan 1234 was fired up. Fast forward 6 months, KU loses a game, they probably shouldn't lose, Hunter gets a tech or whatever happened, and that same person, Jayhawk fan 1234, is the first one on social media in all caps, tweeting at Hunter Dickinson, calling him a suck player. It's got to be whiplash too, because nowadays, and we can say kids got to get off their phone, but it's not that easy.
I just don't know how you turn that part off of it. Like, that's the part about society that I just don't like. Like right here, stop running off the court to go to your phone to look for gratitude. To me, we are so past that with the generation behind us.
And the recruiting process is online. Like, think about right now, whoever the top recruit in the country is, how is that kid going to commit to a school? It's going to be on his Instagram page or her Twitter or their TikTok. That's how these kids, so then they garner all this support and via the recruiting process, and then the same people that loved them in May hate them in September. That's got to be a whiplash effect for these kids.
Yeah, I also think this, and we can move on from this. I also think what is very, very different, and I think we have to acknowledge with these kids, it's not just the strangers on your phone, it's also where your friends are. The same way, Rob, that you and I would hang out with our friends at the mall or hang out with our friends, there is a generation of people that came up behind us. They hung out with their friends on the internet. They met up with their friends online. So the internet is not just validation and conversations with strangers. That is also how you communicate with your friends and with your family. And that has been a place of connection. So I don't want to, I don't want to remove the role that I think smartphones play in all of our lives. And again, I think it's very, very different for the generation behind us. I think it is easier for me and you to turn it off. I think it's easier for, obviously, our parents to do it. They certainly remember a long time. If you grew up with it and you are a kid and you've had a phone since you were 10, 11 years old and you were using tablets even before that, I just don't know now how at 20 years old we tell you, well, just get off the phone. I don't know if you can. I really don't know if they're designed for you just to be able to easily get off the phone. I think we got enough studies that can tell you that. You were just not easily and very quickly getting off the phone. I want to play that for you. That was Hunter Dickinson as he met with a podcast yesterday, the Run Your Race podcast, to talk about the negativity that was happening at Kansas. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are actually going to go back to Lawrence to get you ready for the NCAA tournament as Kansas takes on California Baptist in their first round matchup. Let's get back to the NFL. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest ball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun. Add some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing into your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC odds boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain Scent Boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
He got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... Let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Expect mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 41.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. Coming up at the top of the hour, Shrias Lada, who covers the Kansas Jayhawks. He is going to be on the show at 3 o'clock. He covers Kansas for the Kansas City Star. He wrote a piece on Darren Peterson, spoke to Darren Peterson, spoke to his family, spoke to Coach Self. We're going to play that audio for you coming up, or we're going to play our interview. We're going to talk to him, actually. We haven't recorded it. We're going to talk to him coming up in a bit. What I meant is I'm going to play this audio for you, and then we're going to play a little bit of a game here. Here is Adam Schefter talking about the move for the Dolphins to trade Jaylen Waddle to the Denver Broncos, and what that means for the Dolphins is because they are tanking.
With Josh Allen and Drake May and another team in the New York Jets that has half the first-round picks over the next 2 years. So if you're the Miami Dolphins, you might as well stick to a plan and apply that thinking and follow through on it. And really, they're not going to win the division this year. Breaking news, right? So you might as well start gearing up for 2027 and beyond, and that's what they're doing by moving off a player like Jaylen Waddle, who obviously had suitors all during the season last year at the trade deadline. The Broncos tried to get him. The Bills made calls on him. The Dolphins got offers then. Previous regime, new regime comes in. And now Jaylen Waddle, obviously, you're listening again. And the trade gets done this morning. The agreement gets made.
All right, Rob, I want to play a game. Now, we have never played this game on the radio before. Maybe it doesn't translate, but you know what? Let's give it a try because I'm in the mood to try something. Have you seen those TikTok or Instagram videos where they ask you to blind rank something?
I have.
Like they'll give you 5 movies and you don't know what movie is coming up next and you got to blind rank them. I want to play this with wide receivers, and I'm curious how you would handle it. So you know what? Hit me with a little NFL music, and let's play the game, and then we'll talk about your rankings afterwards. Ladd McConkey.
It's 5, right?
It's 5.
Okay.
It's 5 receivers. Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey was really good as a rookie. He suffered a regression last year. But I think he's going to be better next year, mostly because Mike McDaniel's running the offense. But I have to take the body of work. He feels like a solid 3. There's probably worse players, but I don't think he's the best. He'll set the bar at a 3. I got Ladd McConkey at 3.
Cortland Sutton.
Oh, God, I love Cortland Sutton. I just love him. He doesn't do anything special. I
get it. You know who Cortland Sutton is? He's your T. Higgins.
He is my T. Higgins. 2, I think he's better than Ladd McConkey, but I don't think he's great. I think if he's your number 1, you are a good football team. So I'll have Cortland Sutton at 2.
Xavier Worthy.
5. Much like McConkey, he got worse in year 2 after year 1, but his year 1 was worse than McConkey's. There is hope that maybe he can take a step forward, similar to an offensive coordinator change, but I have my questions about it, mostly because of his size and stature, so I'd have him at 5.
Rashee Rice.
4. Rashee Rice's problems are not football related. Can I trust him as a human being, which is a Very difficult question to answer for him because he's always in the news for things you don't want to be in the news for. I do think he's better on the field than Xavier Worthy. I think he's comparable to Ladd McConkey, but there's all sorts of other noise, so I have him at 4. Who do I put at 1?
Jaylen Waddle.
Okay, that's not bad. Jaylen Waddle at 1. I would have had Waddle at 1 no matter what because I think he's the best of that grouping.
Okay, let's fade the music down here. Let's talk about this. This is how you rank the wide receivers in the AFC West.
Blind ranked, but yes.
Yeah, blind ranked. You did not know. I did not tell you we were going to do this segment. Sometimes I got to try to throw a curveball by you. Now you know the category and the blind ranking. Is this how you would rank the wide receivers in the AFC West? You had Jaylen Waddle at 1, Courtland Sutton at 2, Ladd McConkey at 3, Rashee Rice at 4, and Xavier Worthy at 5. Now, Quentin Johnston is also still in the AFC. I would put all 5 of these guys ahead of Quentin Johnston, and I don't think the Raiders have anybody that's worthy of being in this conversation. So I took who I thought were the 5 best wide receivers, and I tried to mix them up and throw them in there and see how you would do it. Now that you know what the category is this how you would rank the receivers in the AFC West? Because I'm telling you, if we had played this game, you remember, at the middle of last season, Rice would have been number 1 on everybody's list. There was that time where people would have put Rashee Rice at number 1 on this list. I don't think you've done anything wrong here. I think this is a very, very fair list. But I'm curious, now that you know the category and are done, do you think this is the correct ranking for the receivers in the AFC West?
I think you would maybe move Rice and McConkey 3-4, and maybe McConkey drops a hair because I think Rice is more physically gifted, but the off the field stuff is just so noisy that I actually pretty proud of my rankings. I think I'll stick it out with what I had. Very rarely in these blind rankings, at least on TikTok and Instagram, does this go perfectly. But I do think it should be number 1 is Waddle, number 2 Sutton, 3 McConkey / Rice. That's fine. The other person at 4, Worthy at 5. If you had to do it, now you don't get to blind do it. Where would you have shaking out the 5?
You have it exactly how I would have done it. Now, I knew the top 5. That's exactly how I would do it. Waddle, Sutton, Ladd McConkey, Rice. I think the Ladd McConkey, Rice, you could sell me flip-flopping those two. Like, if you told me you like Rice more than Ladd McConkey, I wouldn't fight you that hard. If you told me the other way around, I do think that Xavier Worthy is the worst out of those 5 receivers. Which is now, looking at it through the Chiefs' perspective, it tells me you still got some work to do at wide receiver. It still tells me you got a little bit of work to do. And I would say, and this is respect to anybody on this list, I don't think it's that hard to have the best receiver in the AFC West if this is the group. Like, if we did the same thing in the NFC North, for example, we'd be having some real arguments. If we did the same thing in the AFC North, hell, if we did this in the NFC West, like, we could pick a different division. If you're telling me these are the 5 best receivers in your division, the Chiefs have a chance, I would say, in the next 2 years to have a better receiver than one of this list. If they end up hitting on Carnell Tate, if they end up hitting on Jordan Tyson, if they end up hitting on Mekhi Lemon, you could have the best receiver in the AFC West really, really quickly. So that's why I understand from the Broncos' perspective why you would go out and why you would make this trade. It gives us the best receiver in the national or in our conference. We feel like we can line up along some other things, and we also think we got the best defense potentially in the AFC. I get why the Broncos, why they went out and made this move. I want to play this for you guys. We didn't get a chance to get to this yesterday. A lot of people in the media are making the Justin Fields, Sam Darnold comparisons. Here is Kevin Wildes. Is he friend of the show, Kevin Wildes, even though he's never been on the show? But Danny's friend of the show. Nick is friend of the show. I feel like by proxy, that makes Kevin Wildes friend of the show.
I think maybe like buddy of the show. Like,
okay.
We're not friend status, but like we're in proximity.
Okay, I got you. Because I'm just saying I think we could get Kevin Wildes on the show. I just don't know why we would have Kevin Wildes on the show.
Was Kevin Wildes at your table at Nick's wedding? That's
no,
the real
there was nobody at my table. I had the worst table in the whole building. It made me question if Nick and I were really friends, honestly. It really made me question that. Here's Kevin Wildes.
We're always looking at the next Sam Darnold. Like, who's going to be the next guy to reclaim their career? Justin Fields was drafted by the Bears, who very quickly were just like moved on from him mentally because Caleb was in their mind's eye. The Bears have never developed a quarterback. Then he goes to Pittsburgh, who have short of Ben Roethlisberger, still struggling to develop a quarterback. He played well, but actually Tomlin seemed to like Russ, even though Justin was winning. Then he went to the Jets, who haven't developed a quarterback since Mark Sanchez or maybe Joe Namath. Now you get to be with Andy Reid. If we're looking for candidates for the next Sam Darnold, I think spending a year or two at the feet of Patrick Mahomes, learning from Andy Reid. I don't know how much he's going to pop onto the field, but if he does,
I believe over the next couple of years, you are going to see a lot of teams trying to find the next Sam Darnold. It is a copycat league. You guys remember whenever Mahomes emerged and how the conversation was about, oh, this guy can be the next Mahomes. Look at Kyler Murray. Look at Caleb Williams. That was the thing. People were looking for that kind of gunslinger, unorthodox, throw from all angles. They were looking for that kind of player. They absolutely were. I think the next version of that is looking for the next Sam Darnold. The other team missed. We're going to bring him into our fold. We're going to coach him up and see what we got and get him for the cheap. I think you are going to hear this phrase, the next Sam Darnold, for the next couple of years. I have no clue if that's what Justin Fields is going to be. I'm going to say no, just because I don't think he can be nearly as accurate as Sam Darnold has been. Sam Darnold has been a very accurate quarterback these last 2 years. I don't really think that's what Kyler Murray is, but I do think that Kyler Murray can be a capable starting quarterback in the NFL. With Justin Fields, I don't think he can be accurate enough. I don't think he'll be a starter in the league, but I think he can be a low end. I think he can be a low end backup quarterback for sure. Coming up at the top of the hour, Shrias Lada is going to join us on the show. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks. He wrote a story on Darren Peterson. He spoke to Darren Peterson. We'll talk to him about it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch, brought to you by Century Roofing, proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everybody's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use your FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. March basketball is here, and what better way to celebrate it than with bonus bets with our friends at FanDuel? So make sure that you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the tournament. So whether you think Kansas has a chance to make it all the way to the Final Four, or maybe you think that Missouri has a chance to make it to the second weekend, remember, it's time to dance. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Price 7 days receipt. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issues non-withdrawable bonus bets expires 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The 66th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. World of Wheels Custom Car Show. March 20th through 22nd. Bartle Hall, Kansas City. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. See America's finest hot rods, customs, trucks, and motorcycles. Features and guest appearances. Cars and stars. All weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. World of Wheels. World of Wheels Custom Car Show. March 20th through 22nd. Bartle Hall, Kansas City. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Man, your yard looks great. Who does that for you, Gunther? It's Gunter, no H. You sure it's not Gunther? Listen, we've been with Gunter for years. They take care of our lawn with 7 annual applications. We're weed-free and have a lusher, thick, green lawn. Trust me, it's Gunter.
No matter how you say it, we've been helping Kansas City homeowners improve their yards for decades. For greener, thicker lawns, it's Gunter.
I'm pretty sure it's Gunther. I'm pretty sure it's not.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Wendy's has a new Girl Scout Thin Mints Frosty Fusion with Girl Scout Thin Mints cookie pieces, rich creamy frosty, and a mint chocolate cookie sauce. Which means Girl Scout Thin Mints and Wendy's Frosty, yeah, they're basically best friends now. It's like two delicious desserts just high-fived, snapped a few too many friendship selfies, and then rode a tandem bike down a never-ending road of mint chocolate frosty perfection. So, swing by Wendy's and try the new Thin Mints Frosty Fusion.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Don't wait until extreme temps hit. Anthony makes home comfort easy. Right now, buy a new AC and get a furnace free when you book at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win an X-Family instant ticket, plus a shot at winning 4 Diamond Club seats to the K, all powered by the Kansas Lottery. Listen to the Royals opener in Atlanta against the Braves, Friday, March 27th, with Vern's On Deck show starting at 5. First pitch just after 6. All right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Shrias Lada. He is with the Kansas City Star. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks, getting you ready for their matchup coming up on Friday against Cal Baptist. Shrias, how you doing, my man? Happy to have you on the show today, man.
Absolutely. How are you?
Doing great, man. So let's start with this. You wrote a piece on Darren Peterson. What has it been like to cover Darren Peterson? I mean, you were there every single day, and this has been kind of one of those stories where people just sort of either have popped in and out, or they popped in February whenever football was over in the middle of a story that you've been there from day one. What has it been like covering Darren Peterson?
It's been one of the most interesting experiences of my life, to be honest with you. This is my 5th season covering college basketball between UConn and Kansas. And I don't think I've ever covered a season quite like this. There's so much, outside noise on this entire situation. There's so much that's happened behind the scenes. There's been a lot of difficulties of getting him to talk to media. I mentioned the story, but there was a point he didn't talk to media from mid-November until mid-January. So that 2-month period, no one was talking to him. And at that point, you're in the dark really, unless you're talking to sources around camp, which I was doing a lot of during that time. But it was a really interesting experience because it felt like every time they had solved an injury issue or a cramping issue, et cetera, something else would pop up. And it kind of became a crazy year that I think no one expected, including himself.
Do you think a lot of the issues, and I use issues very vaguely, do you think they have come from him? Do you think they've come from the university? Do you think they've come from the parents, AKA handlers, whoever's around him? Because one thing that was very telling to me is when he called himself an antisocial loner. That's not really the personality trait that you would assume was superstar athlete. And usually, if you have antisocial loner kind of tendencies, you are just a poor communicator in a lot of ways. And I think that a lot of the conversation around him could have been resolved by just better messaging. I think a lot of people failed in how this thing was communicated throughout the season. Do you think that's on Darren? Do you think that's on the program? Or do you think that's on the adults around Darren?
I think it's a mix of different things. I think the biggest thing is he even mentioned it. He regrets not opening up sooner of being transparent. Like I had known about the cramps that had happened a month before the actual date that everyone thought he got cramps for a while, but obviously you can't report on something, health related unless you hear from the source itself or the source's parents or whatever. I absolutely think transparency would have helped. I had scouts reach out to me the day after the antisocial loner comment. One of them was like making fun of it. The other one was like, is he okay? And I know there are people in his camp who told me they wanted a story out there much sooner. And people who are professionals wanted a story out there much sooner within his camp. But there was just some combativeness from people like his parents, his agent, who didn't really want to talk. And I think Darren wasn't the biggest fan of talking either. And I mentioned this in my story. There was worries from a lot of people in the NBA world. I've talked to like 5 or 6 different scouts and people like who evaluate the draft or various national outlets. They think and they feel there's a little bit of an influence from, his parents, from his agent, in the sense of how much he wants to talk and how much, direction he has. So when he opened up a Big 12, I think it was a great thing for him to do. But I was a little bit confused why he did it right before the NCAA tournament instead of doing it back in December when this wouldn't have been as big a deal.
That was the point that I made throughout the course of the season, and it really hit home when you got a chance to speak to him in the locker room after the loss on Friday night. I was saying that he needs to sit down and do the big Taylor Rooks interview. I was saying that he needs to do the Malika Andrews sit down and communicate everything that's happened. I feel like if he had done that in December when you're talking about in non-con play, when everybody was trying to figure out, I feel like the entire tone around him and the entire tone around the season would be drastically different if they had got out in front of this thing.
No, you're absolutely right. I had a scout tell me, I wish I could have one conversation about Darren Peterson, why he is or isn't playing, instead of 50 different conversations with my bosses. There are so many people in the basketball world that were looking and searching for information. This was a year where I've never had more scouts hit me up, more scouts talk to me, more scouts wanting to talk and trade information, because there was a lot of people in the dark, and people want to know what's going on. And I still think there are things that you and I, as much as I've been behind the scenes and I know a lot of stuff, there's still, I'm sure, a ton that I don't know, because there's like maybe 1% of the NBA world, and really him and his camp knows everything that happens. I absolutely think, if he had done it in December, no one would have cared as much. If it would have gathered a lot more sympathy, especially because he struggled at different points of season. When Self challenged him to play through games, to his credit, he's played through games. He says he's 100% healthy for the first time this year, and that might be the case, but he's really struggling in the last 7 games since that Oklahoma State game where he asked to come out. I mean, he's shooting 37 or 36% from the field, 27% from 3. Those numbers are just not, what you expect from somebody who was considered a consensus number 1 overall pick before the season.
Right now, we're talking to Shrias Lada. He is with the Kansas City Star. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks as they get ready for their first-round matchup going up against Cal Baptist. This is going to sound like I'm hating on KU, and I promise you I'm not, just because I cheer for Missouri. I only asked that question because of what we saw at the Big 12. Do you think this Kansas team is starting to run out of gas? This is not a very deep basketball team. Darren Peterson wasn't very efficient in Kansas City. Melvin Council also wasn't very efficient in Kansas City. And Bill said that he gave Melvin time off on Sunday so he could rest and recoup and get ready for the NCAA tournament. Do you think Kansas is running out of gas?
Absolutely. I mean, they're limping into the finish line right now. Bill talked about it himself, where you don't want to go into the NCAA tournament looking like the way they've looked, but they've lost 3 of the last, they've lost, they're 3 and 4 in the last 7 games. They lost horribly to Houston. It feels like no one can shoot the ball. I always had offensive issues with this team, the way the makeup of it was. I just felt like there wasn't enough shooting outside of Peterson. And for a while, it looked good. Trey White was doing pretty well. Melvin Council was doing well. But those guys have started to slump. Fleury's offensive production has kind of disappeared. The consistency has disappeared. Bryson Tiller, he's too up and down as a freshman. There are points where, Bill Self benched him all second half against Houston. I haven't seen that in my tenure on the beat, where he benched a starter like that in the middle of a game. But it's one of those things that, I think if they can make it out of these two games, they have a shot against whoever they face. I know they'll probably face Duke, and I think Duke, with the injuries they have, is a little more vulnerable than they would be if they're fully healthy, because if they're fully healthy, they're the best team in college basketball. If they're not, there's a chance, because Darren didn't play last time they played, and, he takes that matchup personally, never got a scholarship offer from Duke. So I think this Kansas team has the makeup, if they can make it past these two games, to make a deeper run, just because they match up well with what will probably be Duke and what will probably be UConn. But that's a big if. We have to see it first, because right now their offense is ranked in the 50s, which has been the case the last 2 years, and we've seen them not even make it past the first weekend.
I think at least for Kansas, a lot of it is going to be how much gas Melvin Council has left in the tank. I mean, I've never seen a team and its fan base really rally around one player in the way that they are rallying around Melvin Council. I mean, every time he touches the ball, they bark. There's clearly a love between player and fan. I feel like this team is kind of starting to go where Melvin is. I mean, he can barely get off of the floor. He's playing a lot of minutes. If Kansas is going to go on a little bit of a run here, maybe more specifically beat St. John's, I'm not really worried about them going up against Cal Baptist. They just have much more talent than Cal Baptist does. If you're going to go up against St. John's, you need your dog to go up against their dogs. They got to find a way to get Melvin Council kind of re-energized and rejuvenated heading into March.
Absolutely. I think he's one of the X factors on this team. Him and Bryson Tiller, to me, are the two most intriguing players. How they play really determines, I think, how deep this Kansas team can go. Obviously, we know Darren Peterson and Fleury are very important, and Trey White shooting is really important. But if they play well, if the other guys are struggling as much, maybe they only have 2 out of the 3 between Fleury, Trey, and Peterson playing well, and you get one of Tiller or Council playing well, that's enough to beat a team like St. John's, I think. And because KU's defense is so good, the worry point to me is always on the offensive end, and Melvin really needs to figure out his scoring, his ability to kind of go downhill, be the initiator that we've seen him be at different points. I think the biggest thing that, like you mentioned, he has run out of gas. I mean, he wasn't initiating with the ball as much. He wasn't taking to the lane and drawing the defense's attention, giving guys like Peterson and Trey White open looks from 3. Ideally, you hope he's ready to go if they get to the point where they play St. John's and onwards. But I'm intrigued to see how he looks against Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist is not a good team, like you said. I'm not really worried about that game. To me, the worry point is, does Kansas have enough offense to beat St. John's? And St. John's is kind of similarly skill set wise like Kansas, where they're a really good defensive team. They're pretty okay offensively. I think 44th or something, and adjusted offensive efficiency. Kansas is in the 50s in that realm. So I'm really intrigued to see how it matches up when that matchup happens.
How far do you have Kansas going?
I think I have them losing in the Sweet 16. That's kind of where I'm at. I could see them losing to St. John's. I think it's kind of a push for me. But I'm going to say they get past St. John's and then they lose to Duke probably.
If you could go back in time with the information that we have now, I wonder if Bill would recruit Darren Peterson. Maybe that's a silly question given how talented he is, but just given how this season has played itself out, if you could see the end of the story, I wonder if Bill walks down that road again. What do you think?
I think he does, right? Because I think if you look at the variable outcomes, obviously we don't know what's happened with the NCAA tournament yet, but I feel like everything that possibly could have gone wrong with him has gone wrong. You have to take the chance with the talent of that level. Kansas hasn't had that in a really long time. They certainly haven't had that in my 3.5 years on the beat. The guy they had that was the most highly recruit that comes in before Darren on that time was Grady Dick. He was great, but Grady was always a guy who was just a late lottery pick. Darren Peterson was the consensus #1 overall pick. As much as we talk about, this year has been difficult, etc. But it's important for Kansas, the brand, to get players like this sometimes. Because if you consider yourself a blue blood, Duke gets it, Kentucky gets it, North Carolina gets it. So Kansas has got these kind of guys. They need to get these kind of guys. And it also shows in the next few recruiting classes when you get a Darren Peterson, it becomes easier to get a potential Tyron Stokes.
That is Shrias Lada joining us on the show. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks with the Kansas City Star, getting his thoughts on KU as they are heading into the NCAA tournament, and they're going to play their first-round matchup up against Cal Baptist. Shrias, do you know who Cal Baptist, do you know what their mascot is? It's okay if you don't know. I have no clue what it is. I know who they're playing. I could not tell you their mascot. Do you know?
I think they're the Lancers, if I'm correct, but I don't know.
What the hell's a Lancer?
A different mascot. I think a Lancer is a knight, isn't it? I could be wrong. Like the jousting knights or whatever.
Okay, I got to look this up. I appreciate you. That's Shrias Lada joining us on the show. Thanks for your time today, my man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That is Shrias Lada joining us on the show. Rob, you know what a Lancer is? Doesn't one of the local schools, they're the Lancers, right? Like Shawnee Mission.
East.
Yeah, I know it was
Shawnee
one of the
East.
Shawnee Missions. I couldn't remember exactly which Shawnee Mission, but one of those directional schools. I knew they were Lancer. Do you know what a Lancer is?
I don't. I know that it's based on the photos of other teams that are Lancers. It does look like some sort of knight. Like there's a knight mask usually. So that's
okay,
my
I have it
guess.
right here. A Lancer is a primarily historical military cavalryman armed with a lance, or someone who carries a lance. Now I need to know, what is a lance? I don't know what a lance is. Do you know what a lance is? It is a long weapon for thrusting, having a wooden shaft and a pointed steel head, formerly used by a horseman in charging. That's what a lance is.
So
if you didn't know.
jousting knight. That's not a bad
They're
guess
the
by
Cal
Shrias.
Baptist jousters. Lancer definitely sounds better. Oh, you're a Lancer. Okay, okay, all right, that makes some sense. I was curious. I didn't know. Did you know that was the mascot that they were playing? Did you know
I did
that?
not. I knew they had like a 5'7" guard who can hoop. I did not know they were
I know
the
the
Lancers.
mascot of the team Missouri is playing. I'm more of a fan than you are.
Yeah, that team that was in the national title game for football. Yeah,
they're
stunner.
playing the Hurricanes in the ACC. You don't know all that information about your team. See, I know. I'm more in the trenches than you are. Let's transition a little bit, and I want to give you a quick WBC thought here while it is at the front of my brain, and I will forget it if I don't tell you right now. The Royals have not had this level of buzz. They have not had this level of buzz since the failed vote back last April, or 2 Aprils ago. It was a while ago. They have not had this level of buzz in 2 years. I hope the Royals are listening. I really do. I'm telling you right now, the moment the WBC is over, you guys need to have a plan in place to capitalize on all the enthusiasm that people have about your upcoming season and the players that are on your team. I don't know what they have planned. I don't know if they have anything planned. I didn't talk to anybody on the Royals, but I know the Royals will hear this segment. Trust me. I am telling you right now, people are excited about baseball. People are talking about your players. People are excited for the season to begin. We're going to look up, and Missouri's season's going to be over. Kansas's season is going to be over, and it is going to be baseball time in the city. It is going to be spring. We are a couple days away from the cold weather being over. Opening day is coming up in less than 2 weeks, and people are going to be excited about baseball. I don't know what you guys need to do. You need to do a 7 days of Bobby Witt promotion. You need to do a Mikel Garcia. You need to say discounted parking for April. I don't know what you need to do. But I'm telling you that I'm here every day, and I see the up and down, back and forth wave of emotions that people have about the Royals. People are hopeful about the Royals. People like the young talent that they have. Right now, the Royals have a very high public percentage rating right now. People love the Royals. They are in. I'm not saying they got to announce the stadium yet. Don't say anything. You don't got to talk about the stadium. Don't say nothing until you're ready. But when you are ready, then be ready. But the Royals need to capitalize on this momentum they have. They have not had this kind of momentum in a year and a half, in 2 years. They haven't had this kind of momentum since they made the playoffs, maybe heading into the season. But then we spent so much of that offseason talking about the vote and why it failed and the stadium and why people were upset. And then this year they didn't make. I'm telling you right now, the Royals have a window. And Kansas City is real fickle when it comes to the Royals. You are not fickle when it comes to the Chiefs. I would say you're not fickle when it comes to Kansas, Missouri, or K-State. Now, when they're bad, you're out, but that's almost like any team. If they're not good, you are not there. But it don't take much to get Missouri fans back on board. It don't take much to get K-State fans back on board. The Royals fight a very different fight. It is a very different uphill battle. You got them right now. You got them paying attention. You got them caring about your players. Now's the time to be capitalizing. I'd be doing 50% off Miguel Garcia jerseys. I'd be doing 50% off Bobby Witt jerseys. I would try to capitalize on this level of excitement right now for the WBC.
I 100% agree. Even if you do something, goofy and gooby like that, you get 7 days of free Royals TV.
I don't care what it is.
Something. Do something to get, because what you can't afford to have happen is there's all this buzz for World Baseball Classic. A week goes by, no news, no buzz. Opening day this year is on a Friday night in Atlanta. You have to be using this next 10 days to get people fired up about the fact that you are playing your first game in Atlanta on a Friday night, and then the ensuing Monday, 3 o'clock, the K is going to be bumping. You need to be doing something to get that buzz going. And you know what? Some media folks like me and you are doing a good job. Jeff Passan keeps writing pieces about how good he thinks the Royals are going to be. He has Carter Jensen as his Rookie of the Year. He talks about how they could be a top 15 offense in baseball. He's constantly complimenting Bobby Witt Jr. when he's on Pat McAfee. But the Royals as an entity need to do some of that. It can't just be Jeff Passan. They need to really parlay this into something more.
I don't think this is a unique trait, but I think it is different when you are from a place like we are from. You know what Kansas City really loves? Kansas City really loves to see Kansas City people representing their metro on the absolute biggest stage. That's what they love. They love to see people who are from Kansas City or are representing Kansas City go off and make it, so to speak. The Royals right now during an international baseball contest, everybody is playing in this. This is not like only the Royals guys signed up for it. No, if you are a great baseball player, you have signed up for the World Baseball Classic. From Bryce Harper to Aaron Judge to Shohei to Skeens to whomever you think is really good at baseball, they have decided to do the World Baseball Classic. And the Royals are showcasing themselves as a Major League Baseball team as well as anybody. Please do not let this momentum go. Oh, please do not let it go away. Because you and I both know how people are when it comes to the Royals. They're going to see the parking for opening day. Oh, this is why I don't go to the games. The Royals are going to start the year 3-4. They're going to lose a heartbreaking game where their closer loses it. Oh, see, I told you. Oh, same old Royals. Right now, no one's thinking like that. They're thinking positive. They're thinking hopeful. They're thinking Miguel Garcia, all-star game. They're thinking Bobby Witt Jr. is taking a turn to being a superstar. Vinny Pasquantino is going to hit 30 home runs this year. Jack Caglione's going to hit 20-something home runs this year. They moved the fences in. Every single Royals story right now is a positive story. Tell me the last time that happened where every single Royals story is positive. So capitalize. They need to have WBC day out at the K. That's what they need. Something. I don't know. But I'm telling you, that's what the Royals need to do. They need to fully take advantage right now of the momentum that they have heading into this thing.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah,
because you talked about they can lose it, and historically the Royals have lost.
The Royals can absolutely lose it.
Can they make it bigger? Let's say they start the year 10-5. I'm not asking for the world. I'm not saying they need to be the 0-3 team that started 12-0. 10-5. You win basically 2/3 of your games. Do you think that excitement and buzz that we're seeing for the World Baseball Classic can uptick to another level? Because we've seen baseball in this town this summer take over. I don't think we're going to get back to that, but you have a chance. You have a chance to get close to that if you come out not even super scalding white hot, just regular, come out of the gates good, and I think the fan base will be even more bought in.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to know, so I can't say you are right or wrong. Kansas City has rarely seen super important games, regular season baseball games in September. So to answer your question, if you were telling me, let's say in your analogy, that the Royals are up 4 games in the division at the All-Star break, yes, people will be excited. People will be talking about what move can we make? We can win our division. We're a contender in the. Yes, they absolutely will. With our pitching staff and our offense, like I will say, I'm not saying that Royals fans don't come from their skepticism from an honest place. Like if you were a Missouri fan and you were pessimistic, they've given you nothing but pessimism your entire life. So why you feel the way that you feel, you can't say, oh, I don't know where that comes from. No, you know exactly where it comes from. I will say the Royals fans, I think, are quick to turn on them when something goes wrong and not believe. But I would say, like any fan base, if you give Royals fans a reason to go out to the park and show them that you are committed to improving the roster and this is real, there's no doubt in my mind that people will go out to Kauffman Stadium, people will buy Royals TV, people will be bought into this team. Baseball is different in that. It's every day. You got to follow it. You got to be engulfed in it. There's no question in my mind. So, yes, we will all be excited when football comes back. And will Patrick Mahomes start week 1? But if the Royals are one game back in the division and they got a big series coming up against the Guardians, yes, people will be locked in and people will be engaged the whole season. I think what usually hurts the Royals is, in most seasons, they spend the second and third portions of the year digging themselves out of the hole that they created in the first portion of the year. That's how most Royal seasons go. Most Royal seasons go somewhere in the first 40 to 60 games. They go on some 8 out of 9 losing streak, and then they spend all summer and all fall fighting back, and sometimes they end up being decent, and then we end up saying the same thing. Man, if it wasn't for that 2-week stretch in April or May, they would have made the postseason. If they can avoid that this year, there's no reason to think that the Royals can't be competitive and that Kansas City won't be bought in the whole time. That when you look at fan graphs, their chances to make the postseason won't be 13%, and you really got to do some mental Simone Biles gymnastics to see them in the postseason. I absolutely think there is a pathway to that for the Kansas City Royals. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll continue to talk about the NFL. We just saw a major trade between the Broncos and the Dolphins. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money line, spread, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for these bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the upcoming tournament. Guys, come on now. You know I'm going to be taking Kansas, but also some other teams to watch out for. I'm a Big 12 homer, so I'm a believer in Houston, Iowa State, and Arizona might be the best team. They could go all the way. FanDuel, it's time to dance. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet to expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, 1 national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th through the 24th. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been nonstop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,500 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And that's just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months, and people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out, when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
But don't wait. These offers end soon.
There's no place better to watch college basketball than Kansas City. And there's no place better to get all you need for your watch parties than my friends over at Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes your watch party easy. They have a huge selection of ready-to-serve party trays, boneless wings, barbecue, pizza, sushi, and fresh baked goods. They've got it all. And what you can do is order ahead through the Hy-Vee app, online, or at your favorite store. Even if your bracket is a bust, your watch party will be a winner. You can get everything you need only at Hy-Vee.
Feeling the squeeze of high prices? Then stretch your budget this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Stock up and save big on 99-cent deals throughout the entire store. Like pork loin chops, just 99 cents. Skippy peanut butter, 99 cents. Green Giant vegetables, 6-pack ramen noodles, and much more, just 99 cents. Order through the Hy-Vee app or online and leave the shopping to us. Don't miss the 99-cent sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This hour is brought to you by State Water Heater and Reeves Weideman, online at rwco.com. Need a water heater? State Water Heaters has the solution. The Adapt Gas Tankless Water Heater with X3 scale prevention delivers efficient, on-demand hot water with no annual maintenance and may qualify for money-saving utility rebates. Ask your plumber for State at Reeves Weideman. Visit rwco.com or statewaterheaters.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've still got the crash headed into downtown or up towards downtown 71 northbound just past 57th. Blocking part of the left lane, so scoot to the right to get through here. Lee Summit. Stall for 70 eastbound at 50. Right lane is blocked. Stall headed near Blue Springs or in from 70 westbound. It's the on-ramp from Lee Summit. Be prepared to tap your brakes through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow this station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
Coming up in just a bit, I want to play for you guys a news story. Remember yesterday we were talking about the La Tiara taco shells? And I might have been the first person to announce it. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I'm just here to just give information off. The La Tiara taco shells are coming back. We have an update on when exactly they will be back. We'll play that for you here coming up in a bit. Rob, I'm really surprised that you like this Jaylen Waddle trade. I really am. You liking this trade kind of goes against everything that you normally stand for. Jaylen Waddle has received a second contract. It also is draft pick compensation for you to go out and acquire him. Now, this might end up being a thing, Rob, that you like this move for the Broncos and you wouldn't have liked this move if you were Kansas City, for example. But I am surprised, just based off the conversations that we have and how you are about draft pick compensation and the importance of trying to find that guy. I'm a little bit surprised that you like this Jaylen Waddle move.
I think one of the reasons I like this move for Denver but wouldn't like it for Kansas City is I don't think all things are created equal. Denver's in a different spot than Kansas City. I think Denver it's not some earth-shattering revelation. They have the rookie contract window. Now, I get my jokes off at Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix just okay, but he's been Statistically, fine. And he's been winning in Denver. Sean Payton, who knows more about football than me, thinks he's good. So do I think that the Broncos overpaid? 100% they overpaid. That's just, they did. Jaylen Waddle's a good player, and they gave up a great sum of draft pick capital to go get him. But I also think when you're on a team with a rookie contract, a quarterback, you can afford to make big swing moves because you kind of have an out. Hey, if it didn't work, you cut him and move on, and then you pay your quarterback and you figure it out. We've seen this with other teams. You take the big swing. That Buffalo overpaid for Von Miller at the time. It made sense. Go big swing right now. We can name move after move. So I think for Denver, this is a good move. I would not like it in Kansas City because Kansas City is in a different spot than Denver is. I also think of all the wide receivers that have signed contracts, Jaylen Waddle is the best one. Like, is there a wide receiver available that you would take them over Jaylen Waddle?
Probably not where the Broncos would have selected, but this actually gets me to my next point, my bigger point, in a Kansas City point more specifically. I don't know if you guys care that much about Denver and how they approved their roster, but I am looking at what Jaylen Waddle did in his first 4 years, first 5 years in Miami. So he is now finished out his rookie contract in Miami. Now, they gave him a second contract. He was the top pick, and they ended up paying him. But adding this kind of player to Kansas City is monumental, in my opinion. So let's say that you don't want to pay whoever their wide receiver is. Let's just go with that. Let's say that you're one of those people that says, oh, wide receiver is getting way too expensive. We got Patrick Mahomes. We can just go make another one, that you would basically want to do with that wide receiver. So it's Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, whatever. If you would do the exact same thing with that wide receiver that you did with Trent McDuffie, this is what you would have got for 4 years of Jaylen Waddle. You would have got 77 catches for a little over 1,000 yards and about 6 touchdowns a season. Having that kind of player in their offense is big to me. Yes, ideally, I would love for them to take a defensive lineman. I think that is the best thing for them. The best case scenario for Kansas City is, in my opinion, if David Bailey falls a little bit in the draft. And falling is relative. The Chiefs pick at 9. But if David Bailey is there at 9, I would run to the podium to go take David Bailey. I don't care what wide receiver is available. I don't care about right tackle. I would go take David Bailey. Now, I got to get more information about Ruben Bain. I got questions about the arm length that other people don't potentially have. I also don't know how long his arms are. Somebody is telling me it's this size. Another person is telling me that was wrong. I don't know. So let's get more information on what his arm size is. But that scares me a little bit when it comes to Bain and the historical precedence of what that could potentially mean. And I am not willing to bet that he is just this complete statistical anomaly and freak of an athlete. I am not ready to bet on that. But if you were telling me that with the 9th overall pick, they got Jaylen Waddle, I'd be excited about that. If you were telling me with the 9th overall pick, if they draft Carnell Tate, and he for the next 4 years is a guy that has 77 catches for a little under 1,100 yards and scores 6 touchdowns a season, sign me up for that player under a rookie contract. Sign me up with that player in this offense, with that head coach, that quarterback, their new running back, and the other weapons and pieces around him. Sign me up for that player. If they added that receiver to this year's team and he has the kind of rookie year, and I get it, it's different. Jaylen Waddle as a rookie had 100 catches for a little under 1,000 yards and had 6 touchdowns. If you added that kind of offensive player to Kansas City's team, in addition to their ability to run the football, the Chiefs got a top 5 offense in the league this year. They got a top 5 offense in the league. So again, I'm on the same side if you want defensive line, if you want pass rush, I would go draft them. This is why I'm starting to kind of come around to the other side with wide receiver. The Chiefs may have a chance to take the number 1 wide receiver on the board, or at least the number 2 wide receiver. I don't see 2 receivers going before the Chiefs select. You might have a chance to take the second best or maybe best wide receiver prospect in the NFL draft. That might be really hard to pass up on, especially given how expensive good wide receiver play is in the National Football League and how dynamic it could be if you get it right. If you get Jaylen Waddle on a rookie contract and he ends up being the player that he is supposed to be and what that potentially means in your offense with the quarterback that you have, I don't know if that's a scenario that you can pass up.
I agree with you. the Chiefs need another wide receiver. We agree on that. That is wide view, 100% agree. This is why I don't love the way the Chiefs handle the offseason. Like, that's why I wouldn't have made the big swing move, be running back. It is more important that this team has pass rush than wide receiver, and pass rush is harder to find later in the draft than wide receiver is. Like, I was looking at Jaylen Waddle's draft class.
That's a loaded draft class of receiver.
It was very good. Nico Collins was late in the second, early in the third.
Yeah, he was a dog.
You would take Nico Collins on this offense in
100%.
an absolute heartbeat. So, like, it is harder to turn pick 29 or pick 40 or pick whatever into Max Crosby.
But you can find a wide receiver.
But you can find a wide receiver. We agree conceptually, but I think the Chiefs have kind of put themselves in a corner here with needing wide receiver and pass rush. I think they kind of have to do pass rush at 9 because Bain, Bailey, Reese are available at 9. None of those three, barring just some massive drop-off, are there at 29 or later. That quality of player.
Someone says, do you like Caleb Downs over a number 1 wide receiver? If you were telling me, and I might even be in the minority, if you were telling me that Caleb Downs turns out to be Kyle Hamilton and Carnell Tate turns out to be Jaylen Waddle, Chris Godwin, for example, I'd rather have Chris Godwin than have Kyle Hamilton. I think the value and the impact of what it means for your team, I think, is greater. I'd rather have the wide receiver than have the safety. And I love Kyle Hamilton. I think he's a phenomenal player. If you were telling me that is exactly what the two turn out to be, one turns out to be Kyle Hamilton, the other one turns out to be Chris Godwin, Jaylen Waddle, who I think are very comparable with each other, I think you take Chris Godwin with the 9th overall pick. And that's why at least, and this mock draft, who knows? I see some mock drafts that got Zion Young going in the 2nd round. I see some that got him going 16. If you were telling me you come out of the 1st round with the best wide receiver prospect and you get Zion Young, the defensive end out of Missouri, I would say you had a great 1st round. You had a really solid 1st round with the foundation of 2 really solid starters for you moving forward as you are going into Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Coming up on the other side, we'll keep the NFL conversation going. We're going to head to Denver, Colorado to get their perspective about the trade as they have now acquired Jaylen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a best man speech, but getting one from some random +1.
I am honored to be standing here today, also confused and a little hungry. Does anyone want to switch entrees? Pretty sure I checked beef.
You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign in to your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC Odds Boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into BetMGM Sportsbook app, add your WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your Odds Boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps, and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest baseball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun and some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing in to your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC Odds Boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up.
I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid.
Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Join Cody and Gold live from 10 until 2 at International Tap House in the Crossroads this Thursday and Friday to watch the tournament games, along with our friends at Circus Sports. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this. Olathe, that stall is still slowing you up. Let's see, right lane block 35. It's northbound, just past 119th. The slow go through there. We've got the crash still working, 71 northbound past 57th. Scoot to the right through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to Denver, Colorado right now to be joined by Andrew Mason. He is with Denver Sports in Denver, Colorado. Andrew, how you doing today, my man?
All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. What's your reaction to Denver making this move to go pick up Jaylen Waddle?
I mean, it's a bold move, no doubt about it. I mean, it gives them a receiver that a receiver type that they didn't have. I mean, they had a quick, small receiver in Marvin Mims Jr., but he's, much more dynamic as a returner than a receiver over the last few years. So most of the Broncos receivers are longer, big-bodied types. So here's a guy who can get some separation downfield, can open up some things. I think the real question is when you look at some of the other trades at receiver in the last week or so, you look at what the Steelers gave up for Michael Pittman Jr., what the Bills gave up for DJ Moore, and obviously Jaylen Waddle's a different type of receiver, but did the Broncos give up a little bit too much here? I think that's the big question in this trade.
I don't mind the overpay, and I agree. I do think they overpaid by a little bit, but I think you have to factor in the fact that the Broncos have a quarterback on a rookie contract, so there's a sense of urgency you are always going to have when that's the case. I do think they added the best receiver now in the AFC West. I'm really high on Jaylen Waddle's ability, and just taking a look right now at the AFC, nobody can tell me who the top dog is. So I don't mind the Broncos saying, we think this is the move that could potentially get us over the hump. We already think we have a championship level defense. So it's about trying to give our quarterback more weapons and more options. I don't mind the trade. I don't dislike the trade from the Denver perspective.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to look at from that, for their perspective, I mean, effectively in terms of draft capital value, what they gave up is the rough equivalent of the 25th or 26th overall pick, and they had the 30th pick this year. And, I mean, it's definitely the win-now type move, like you mentioned, because at 30, they weren't likely to get somebody who was going to help them right now. And I mean, the guy that they could have taken potentially who might have helped them, going in free agency was Darian Price, the running back from Notre Dame. But he would have been waiting behind J.K. Dobbins. Once they re-signed Dobbins, that he would have been kind of waiting in the wings. And they probably didn't have the draft capital to move up and take Kenyon Sadiq there in the middle of the first round. So the options for finding somebody in the moment were limited. It's just, I mean, the success or failure of this trade is probably going to be based on whether the Broncos can get over the top and win a Super Bowl. I think that's how you are going to measure whether this trade works out or not.
I'm also going to guess that the Broncos tried to go get A.J. Brown too, and the Eagles continue to be stubborn and think he's worth a little bit more than everybody else thinks he's worth.
Perhaps, but I also think, with some of the stuff with A.J. Brown and kind of, not being happy with how he's being used, I'm not sure the Broncos thought that he was a fit. I mean, being around the Broncos a lot, I hear time and time again about culture, cohesion, and fit. I hear that from players. I hear that from coaches. And I think they may not have regarded A.J. Brown as the right fit for their locker room, whereas Jaylen Waddle is somebody whom they would have regarded as a better fit for them. And certainly with Waddle, he's very close friends with Pat Surtain, so they could talk to Pat and say, hey, give us the lowdown on what type of person Jaylen Waddle is. How well is he going to fit on this team? And I'd say the Broncos, they value that element with a player more than most teams do. When it comes down to deciding their roster at the deadline, I mean, they'll sometimes keep the less talented player. If they're deciding kind of in a tie between two players, they'll keep sometimes the less talented guy who's a better fit. And so I think that probably came into the equation as well, that they thought Waddle is a better fit for their locker room than A.J. Brown.
Right now, we're talking to Andrew Mason for a few more minutes here. He covers the Broncos with Denver Sports 104.3 out in Denver, Colorado, getting his thoughts on the trade that sends Jaylen Waddle from Miami to Denver. What do you make of the Broncos offseason? Because it's been weird. They made absolutely no move, and then they go make one of the biggest moves of the offseason, trading a first-round pick to go get Jaylen Waddle. Their offseason has been very strange. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, they were looking into Travis Etienne, and they were talking to him before he ended up signing with New Orleans. And so they had kind of Etienne and they had J.K. Dobbins. They were, kind of talking to both of them, and then they ended up going with Dobbins. So, I mean, there was a possibility they could have brought someone in, but it was interesting that kind of beyond that, it was standing pat with their guys. I mean, particularly at inside linebacker, they bring back Alex Singleton and they bring back Justin Sternad, who kind of emerged last year when he came in, started early in the season last year for Dre Greenlaw. And now with Singleton, he struggled at times in coverage, but Vance Joseph, their defensive coordinator, really valued him, probably valued him more than would have been valued on the open market. But again, I think it sort of kind of comes back to the thing I just said about kind of culture, cohesion, and fit, that they sort of know the guys that they like, know who fits in that locker room, and that they, by and large, decided that, all right, the difference is going to cut that up until today, that the difference was going to come from running it back. Now that we see that they've made this deal for Waddle, it's kind of, you sort of see the, their plan kind of coming together, and it was, okay, let's see if we can add one more dynamic playmaker here. And that's the part that's missing from this equation. And I think that's now kind of stepping back, and that's what they identified as what was missing. I think back to Garrett Bowles the day after the season saying, well, if we can add a couple more playmakers this offseason, that's all we need to kind of get over the top. Well, here we are several weeks later, and they bring in Jaylen Waddle. So I think, Garrett Bowles getting his wish. I think a lot of the players in the Broncos locker room today are probably thinking, hey, we got our wish. I guess the only guys maybe aren't getting their wish are guys in the wide receiver room like Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims Jr., and Troy Franklin are probably wondering, hey, what does that mean for us right now?
I'll get you out of here with this last question. The NFL, or I guess more specifically the AFC, feels a lot like the NBA Eastern Conference. I can make an argument for 4 or 5 different teams representing the East in the NBA Finals. When I look at the AFC right now, I don't know who the best team is. Now, obviously, we got a lot of time until we try to figure that out. But you can make a Bills argument. You can make a Patriots argument. You can make a Broncos argument. You make a Kansas City gets back there. It's been a while since the AFC feels up for grabs. It's either been Kansas City or New England, it feels like, for the last 20 years. This is the first time going into the season. I don't think you can say definitively that the AFC has a best team. So that's one of the reasons why I understand why the Broncos did it. They think they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, and I can't blame them for doing so, because, I mean, just to kind of look where y'all are in Kansas City. I mean, they'll look to the east down I-70, and they'll see a team with an objectively amazing quarterback who is coming off of an injury and is going to spend the offseason focusing on rehab and recovery. And one thing about it, knee injuries like that, is that sometimes the first year back from that injury, you're not all the way back. And even though the Chiefs do make a move like bring in Kenneth Walker, which certainly is a signal that, okay, they're not putting up the white flag on this year by any stretch of the imagination. You see them, the moves made at, cornerback, for example. I mean, it does feel a little bit like it could, the Chiefs are in something of a transition from kind of almost like Mahomes era 1.0 to Mahomes era 2.0, kind of like we saw way back with Tom Brady in the 2000s to Tom Brady in the 2010s. Like, there were two, the Patriots looked different in the 2000s than they did in the 2010s. And there was like a little bit of a bridge there between those eras where they were still very good, but weren't winning Super Bowls for a little bit. And I think maybe the Broncos kind of look at this moment as a time to attack that. And I would actually say the Chargers, based on some of the things that we saw from them, I think the Chargers are even looking at that in the same way as well. So I agree with you. It is quite wide open, because you'll get the Chargers, you'll get the Broncos, you'll get the Bills, the Patriots. Certainly coming back from making the Super Bowl. You could, and even the Bengals. They lose Hendrickson, but they bring in Boye Mafe. I mean, even the Bengals aren't putting up the white flag on this either. I mean, it's going to be a wide open race. And the AFC West is going to be fascinating, because all of the teams in the AFC West have to deal schedule-wise with facing the entire NFC West. So having Seattle and the San Francisco 49ers on the schedule and the Los Angeles Rams, that's a bit of a disadvantage they're all going to have compared to the other contenders in the AFC.
That is Andrew Mason joining us on the show today. He is with Denver Sports 104.3 out in Denver, Colorado, breaking down the Jaylen Waddle trade. Andrew, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks, fellas.
Absolutely. That's Andrew Mason joining us on the show today. We'll keep the NFL conversation going up at the top of the hour. Tomorrow, we are going to have Daniel Jeremiah on the show. Really excited. One of the best NFL draft voices out there. He has a new mock draft. You guys will not be happy. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this. Olathe, that stall is still slowing you up, right lane block 35. It's northbound, just past 119th. The slow go through there. We've got the crash still working, 71 northbound past 57th. Scoot to the right through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle, ultra-fine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's biggest moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It's March, and that means there's no better time to start betting with Circa Sports. It doesn't matter how you're planning on betting the mayhem. Picking individual games, futures to make it through the bracket, props on your favorite players, or more. Circa Sports has you covered. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hey guys, it's Cody and Golden. Learning the skills is only part of the journey. And over at Centric, turning those skills into a career is where people need the most support. And with Centric's 4-month IT program built around something different, a clear career pathway.
And that's where Centric's Career Services team comes in. They're going to help coach you through the resume building, interview preparation, and guidance, along with a real entry-level IT job with local employers. And if you're serious about making that career move, you got to just talk to our friend Russ Mondry and schedule that career pathway call. Go to Centric.com for more.
Rally House, shop every team in town. College and pro, come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State, Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House, Rally House, it's your city, it's your house, it's the Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Net big cash at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through March 28th, earn to swipe your Caesars reward card at a Net Big Cash kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect letters to spell out winning words to score up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us March 28th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brought to you by Kalshi. Trade on anything.
The March tournament is here, and Kalshi is giving away $1 billion for a perfect bracket. $1 million to the top bracket and $1 million to charity. Free to enter. Download the app and use code THEFAN when you sign up. Eligibility requirements and official rules apply. See Kalshi.com/$1 billion-bracket for more info.
Play ball! Cody and Gold will be live outside Gate D starting at 10 for the Royals home opener on Monday, March 30th, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Rob, can we take a little bit of a detour? I don't have the answer to this. I don't know. I'm sure you guys are going to inform me, and that's why I want to talk about it. 913-586-7965. So coming up in about 15 minutes, Ken Pomeroy is going to be on the show. I can't really think of too many people better to talk college basketball with than Ken Pom. He is going to be on the show. Daniel Jeremiah is going to be on the show. I think you can argue that he is the number one person who covers the NFL draft. So we got you covered for the draft. We also got you covered for March Madness. Let me take a small detour here. Rob, are you familiar with this Aiden Holloway story, the kid that's at Alabama? Now, I could be speaking out of turn. And text line, please tell me if I'm out of turn. Rob, tell me if I'm out of turn. He's suspended for possession of marijuana in 2026. Now, they found a decent amount of marijuana on this individual. I believe they found 2 pounds of marijuana on him. Now, I have absolutely no clue how much 2 pounds of marijuana is. That is not really part of my life. I don't really smoke. But they said they found 2 pounds on him. They found some paraphernalia, which seems like it makes sense because that's how you smoke the marijuana. They also found some cash. Now, it is important to note, they did not find this on his person. They did not find this in the car. They found this at his house. So maybe they got tipped off. He had all this weed. They go search it. Boom. Now, it is also important to note that smoking marijuana now does not make you ineligible to play college athletics. So technically, according to the NCAA, he did not violate anything by A, consuming marijuana, or B, by having it, but he has been charged with the crime. This is my question. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Text line 913-586-7965. If he had a wine cellar downstairs and he just had 100 bottles of wine, he would not be getting arrested, right? Like, alcohol impairs you. If he had 100 bottles of wine and he was just a wine connoisseur, I love wine, I am a rich person, I have a bunch of alcohol downstairs, nothing would happen to him. He's being penalized because he had too much marijuana, even though you can have marijuana, but he had too much of it, so now that makes it a felony. You got to explain that to me, because that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Because, again, if he had a whole bunch of, if he had 3 kegs of beer downstairs, the police are not coming in your house with a warrant and then arresting you. In my understanding, they're not arresting you for having 3 kegs in your house. But they can arrest you because you have too much marijuana? They can't really prove that he was selling the marijuana to anybody. And his lawyer is saying that it was for personal use and he was not selling it on the side. He is not a drug dealer. He just owned a lot of marijuana. Why is that a crime?
Now, I don't want to get into a whole philosophical thing.
I don't know. I don't have the answer to it.
I believe it is because Alabama state law still views it as a schedule. I don't know the exact schedule name, but I believe Alabama views it very differently than the state of Missouri, for example, views it. So I think because of the amount and where he lives, in his state, they view it as a separate, a different entity than some other states do it. But I think it's an interesting conversation because Colorado and Alabama, for example, I don't think view marijuana the exact same way at all. And that's where the problem rises, is that this happened in Tuscaloosa, which views marijuana in a more old school light, is a better way to say it.
And the text line is saying that if you have 2 pounds, it is impossible for that to be for personal use. You are selling it. But I guess my argument would be, I think we all know somebody with a wine cellar. I would say having 100 bottles of wine is also an excessive amount and will take you a lot of time to drink 100 bottles of wine. But if you had 100 bottles of wine in your apartment, no one would think that you were weird for having 100 bottles of wine, even though it would take you a lot of time to consume all of that wine. So that's what I'm arguing. Is the issue that he just had too much of the marijuana? Is that the problem that he had?
I think it's the where. Not like his house. I mean, like the where, like what state he lives in is the problem.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm just I don't smoke. I don't smoke weed. I have absolutely no clue.
I don't smoke
I
at
have
all,
no
but
clue how much I have no clue how much it is.
I would tell you that the fact that they got it from his house also makes me think there's more to this story. Like, it's not like some recreational user who had like a small amount hidden in a pill bottle. 2 pounds in your house and they're aware of it seems like a lot. Like, just think of how too much is conceptually.
Okay. Someone said, C-Dot, are you serious? Liquor is legal. So is marijuana in a lot of places. I'm just saying is we just have very different feelings in 2026 about marijuana. It just feels like some of the laws should catch up with some of it.
I think this is one of those situations where there's no federal guidelines, so it's based state by state, and that gets unique very quickly.
Okay, this text line saying, some people are saying it's a good analogy with the weed, some people are not. Okay, I'm just asking. I'm just saying is if you had a lot of alcohol downstairs, if you were somebody that had 100 bottles of vodka downstairs, no, you would not be arrested for it. No one would arrest you for it. So it is just like, I guess I just don't really understand. It doesn't seem like it's really bothering anybody to me. Weed is like a very weird thing now, what I would say like we are cool with and not cool with. Again, I don't smoke weed, so I don't even have an idea of how much 2 pounds is. Text line's telling me 2 pounds is a whole lot of weed. But I would also say, I don't know if a lot of people have the money to be able to buy 2 pounds of weed. I'm assuming if you are a star basketball player at Alabama, you got enough money to buy 2 pounds of weed. So I assume you got a whole bunch of it. Maybe you were just a party house. Hey, come through and partake. That doesn't really bother me. Like, you're an adult, you're at home, I'd smoke all you want. I don't really care. But a lot of people obviously do care. Text line, they care. Very, very heavily. Someone says you can have up to 1 ounce in Missouri for personal use. This guy had 32 ounces. I don't even know how much an ounce is. How much is an ounce? That seems like a very small amount.
I mean, I know what an ounce looks like in other things. Again, I don't smoke, but like an ounce of water, 32 ounces of that seems like a lot. Like, it does seem like a lot.
Okay, I don't know. Somebody said, where is he buying it at? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Can somebody tell me, honestly, on the text line, I have the answer to it. 913-586-7965. How much realistically, how many joints are you getting out of 2 pounds of it? How many joints is this? That would maybe help me understand how this is so much. Because 2 pounds sounds like a very, very small amount of it. It sounds like a very, very small amount. Someone's saying there's about $160 worth. So we're mad at him for having 300. I guess I'm saying, I don't know. I got to see how much it is. Somebody said, don't Google 2 pounds of Mary Jane on your work computer. Okay, someone said 2 pounds of weed will run you about $5,000. The text line's giving me all different numbers. I can't trust them anymore. Some of y'all got terrible dealers here reading this. Listen, Rob, in 3 straight texts, a pound is about about $1,200. Somebody else said 2 pounds about $1,800. Somebody else said 2 pounds are going to run you $5K. Based on the text line, if you get $5K for 2 pounds of weed, you smoking some good. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like it's a premium, high-end kind of stuff. I don't know nothing about it. I don't participate in this. I mean, I might take it if you hand it to me and we out like, all right, cool, I'll take one puff with you. I don't know nothing about it. I'm not participating in any of it. I would not advise you to participate. Don't smoke drugs, kids. That's what I'm here to tell you. Stay away from the weed.
Especially if you live in the Alabama.
For sure. 100%. Definitely stay away from it.
I also tell you, start fading the Crimson Tide because he's one of their best players.
Yeah. Now I'm more confused than when we started this just because all of the different amounts. Like somebody says you could smoke about 500 joints. Somebody else is telling me you could smoke 1,000. I don't know. There doesn't really seem to be a standard measurement when it comes to this. I would get the math in order when it comes to this because some of y'all could be getting finessed by the dealer when it comes to this story. Again, I didn't know. I did not plan this. I just saw it and I'm like, wait, but you can smoke weed some places, but in some places you can have too much. I don't know. It's all very confusing to me. I don't know nothing about it. Coming up on the other side, Ken Palm's going to be on the show. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Man, your yard looks great. Who does that for you, Gunther?
It's Gunter, no H.
You sure it's not Gunther?
Listen, we've been with Gunter for years. They take care of our lawn with 7 annual applications. We're weed-free and have a lusher, thick, green lawn. Trust me, it's Gunter.
No matter how you say it, we've been helping Kansas City homeowners improve their yards for decades. For greener, thicker lawns, it's Gunter. I'm pretty sure it's Gunther.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER. Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions. March special is a toilet tune-up. New fill valve, flapper seal, and supply pipe for only $199. I can assure you that we are competitive, we show up, and do what we say we will. We would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest ball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun. Add some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing into your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC odds boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Here they come. A baseball-sized hailstorm means every roofer for 500 miles is on his way here to ring your doorbell. Before that happens, go online to jrstormcheck.com and relax. JR & Company is locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. JR & Company offers a lifetime warranty on workmanship. But best of all, JR & Company offers a free Class 4 shingle upgrade. What does that mean? Most insurance companies offer premium discounts on Class 4 shingles. Remember, no roofer can legally offer to pay your deductible, but a free shingle upgrade can reduce premiums for years to come. Why do we do this? Because we can. A lifetime workmanship warranty and free shingle upgrade. It's why we say...
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Just visit jrstormcheck.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a crash headed out of Olathe, 35 northbound, just past 119th. Right lane is blocked, and you are heavy back into Olathe. Near Blue Springs, that's a crash, 470 southbound as you approach 40 highway. Big delays, you'll tap your brakes. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Ken Pomeroy. He is the Bill James of basketball to break down the NCAA tournament. Ken, how are you doing today?
Hey, Carrington, I'm doing quite well.
Ken, I don't feel like anybody ever asks you questions about you. I feel like every question you get is about college basketball. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, man. Wow. I mean, I haven't watched the movie in ages, but what's my favorite movie? I don't know. The Usual Suspects was a good one. I mean, it's only like 25 years old, but.
What was the first concert you went to?
First concert I went to was ZZ Top.
Okay. See, I like how you were much more prepared for the concert than so you must be a music guy, not really a movie guy like that.
I'm not necessarily a music guy either, and it's kind of hilarious, honestly, that I went to a ZZ Top concert, but there you go.
All right. I just wanted to know. I just feel like people always come on here and they only talk to you with the purpose. They want to know about basketball. I want to learn a little bit more about you. I'll probably ask you another random question before this conversation is up. All right. Let's talk about the NCAA tournament. Let's talk about the bracket. First off, let's talk about Kansas and where they are seated. That is a region of death, it feels like, on paper. I mean, just blue blood after blue blood after blue blood. What do you make of KU's draw?
Yeah, I have to admit, like, I haven't understood that take. I mean, obviously the name, certainly, but like St. John's is not a team that should. It's not like people are complaining about St. John's seed because they won the Big East tournament, but really they're like in line with the other 5 seeds. I know you got UConn in there, and like UConn would have been like a pretty weak 1 seed. Like they've kind of struggled all year getting through the Big East. I realize they won a lot of games, but the Big East isn't very good, and a lot of those wins they had against lower level Big East teams were pretty close. So I don't know. I don't mind Kansas's draw. I mean, obviously getting out of a region with Duke in it is going to be challenging, but all the 1 seeds are pretty good. So to me, there's nothing like terribly spectacular, certainly in the difficulty level about this draw.
I don't know anything about Cal Baptist that I just haven't read. I'm not going to pretend like I watched a lot of Cal Baptist basketball. You might be the only person that we have on this week that has actually watched them play. I've watched enough Kansas basketball and I've seen enough Bill Self. I find it hard to believe that they're about to lose to a team whose best player is 5'10". I just find it really hard to believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's I get that vibe as well. And I haven't, just to be clear, I haven't seen a lot of Cal Baptist either. Did see their title game against Utah Valley. They are a team that is going to want to, slow this game down and keep it low scoring. I mean, if Cal Baptist ends up scoring 70 points, that's probably a really bad sign for Kansas. But assuming they do not, yeah, I mean, Dominique Daniels is a fun story, and he gets buckets, but they don't have much else besides him. And as you mentioned, the size is probably a factor when you start going up against high major competition.
The way that I kind of handicap this, and we'll get back to Kansas, I guess specifically here, is I see there's 3 teams at the top. I think it's Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. I would then say there's that second tier where it's Iowa State, where there's UConn, there's Michigan State, there's kind of those teams. And then I think it's that third tier of teams, which I would put Kansas in. I'd put them in pretty firmly. Like if Kansas made a little bit of a run, I don't know how surprised you could be with the potential number 1 overall pick on their team in Bill Self. Like it wouldn't be the most shocking thing that we've ever seen. I also wouldn't be surprised to see St. John's beat them by 12 points this weekend as well. I feel like there's a little bit of a wide range of what could happen for them, where we're used to them kind of being the team that sets the tone for the tournament, And now they kind of feel like they're in that group of about 20 teams that you could see making a Final Four run, but you're just not predicting it.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm not sure I could really see St. John's, running Kansas off the floor. I'm not really sold on St. John's either. People are putting a lot of stock in their Big East tournament run, and I mean, you got to keep in mind it was on basically their home floor, not exactly home games, but still a pretty comfortable situation there. And again, the Big East is just not terribly strong this year. So, yeah, I'm not too scared of St. John's there. I mean, obviously St. John's could win that game, but at the very least, Kansas is going to be in the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were the ones pulling away a little bit at the end. The problem is getting by Duke. It used to be between a game between a 1 seed and a 4 seed. If the 4 seed wins, you wouldn't be shocked at all. But this year, the 1 seeds there's just such a gap between them and everybody else, and particularly those top 3 teams you're talking about, that, if Kansas beats them, it really would be, arguably the upset of the tournament if it happens.
You don't sound high on St. John's at all. I feel like a lot of people are high on them. Now, I think a lot of that is just due to we will always overhype basketball in New York. We're going to talk ourselves into the Knicks here in a couple of months, and I don't think they're winning the NBA championship. But that's just kind of what we do when a team from New York. My producer, who you just spoke to, he was very anti-St. John's last year. He ended up being right. He's fading them again. It just sounds to me like you're not in love with St. John's either.
Yeah, I think it's more like the Rick Pitino thing. To me, that's the thing with both St. John's and UConn. Rick Pitino, obviously he's a legend. He's a great coach. Dan Hurley, he's a great coach. I wouldn't put him in the legend category yet, but obviously has had tons of tournament success. But when you look at the underlying results heading into the tournament, it's just not that impressive. And again, just gets back to the fact that the Big East of the conference, outside of those 2 teams and Villanova, and then Seton Hall had an all right year, but then the other 6 teams are, I don't want to say garbage, but not close to tournament quality. And so I think, I do think people just maybe look at the record and look at the coach and think, wow, this is the team to watch out for. But yeah, I am not as impressed with either of those 2 teams as I think that the general consensus is.
Right now, we're talking to Ken Pomeroy. He might be the most knowledgeable person to talk college basketball with at this portion of the season. Just taking a closer look at the NCAA tournament bracket. I do want to get your thoughts on Missouri. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. I know you have your algorithm of how you put the teams together. Las Vegas clearly has their algorithm of how they think the tournament is going to go. And you mentioned the gap between the haves and the have-nots. The Vegas spreads also communicate that as well. There's a big gap between 5 and 12s, 4 and 13s, 6 and 11s, etc. Some of the biggest gaps that we've seen. There was a lot of conversation that the current structure of college basketball has killed off Cinderella. Do you agree with that? Is that what your formula, is that what your algorithm is telling you, that now with NIL and the transfer portal, et cetera, do you think this tournament has killed off Cinderella?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it might be a little strong to say it's killed it off, and I would love to just wait another year or 2 before I rip off a complete hot take about that. But there's no question. You look at the point spreads, they're greater than they were in years past. We always talk about the 5-12 games, and, there's always a 12 that wins, one of those games. But the difference between the 5s and the 12s is bigger than it's ever has been. It used to be the 5 and the 12 were the reason they always had upsets, supposedly, was they were actually almost the same quality of team. The teams in the 20 to 40 range were almost interchangeable, and that's who played in the 5-12 game. Sometimes the 12 would be favored over the 5. That was not unusual. But now it's not quite the case. The teams in that 20 to 25 range are, significantly better than the teams in the 40 to 45 range. And you still have upsets, but the chance of those upsets goes down. And we saw that in the worst way last year, where there were hardly any upsets in the first round. I think that was a bit extreme, but I do think the trend is headed in that direction, where you just aren't going to see as much chaos in the first round as you used to.
So let's talk about Missouri against Miami. Now, maybe I'm speaking out of turn from what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've read, but I saw that you would have Miami as a 5, maybe 5.5 point favorite against Missouri, but the fact that the game is in St. Louis kind of changes it a little bit. You still have Miami winning the game. What is it about Miami that makes you feel they're clearly better than Missouri?
Well, it might be more about Missouri, actually. I mean, Miami's had a really solid year, and like Jay Lucas was really one of the best offseason hires among first-year coaches in the country. But with Missouri, like their scoring margin numbers are, I think, tell the story a little better than their overall record. I mean, they were outscored in conference play, and then you obviously throw in the loss to Kentucky in the SEC tournament, but had a winning record in conference play, were outscored. I mean, realistically, most teams that get outscored in conference play are going to have a losing record. So the record's a little bit inflated from kind of the underlying metrics, and not saying they didn't deserve to be in the tournament based on their wins and losses they did, but the predictive metrics kind of see through the record a little bit, and that's why I do make Miami a slight favorite in this one.
I'm a Missouri fan, so I'm at the point, I just want them to get one win. Last year, they lost in Wichita to a mid-major team, and I thought that Drake team was pretty good. You got a good ACC team. It's not even a neutral site. This is a virtual home game for Missouri. They have two home bases, Kansas City and St. Louis. They play a neutral site game in that building every single year against Illinois. This feels like a game that where Missouri is as a program, you just got to figure out a way to win. It doesn't have to be pretty, but you need to figure out a way to win against Miami on Friday night.
Yeah, it's amazing like how much the perception of a season changes, based on that one game. Like obviously they do get a win and lose to Purdue. Like nobody's really going to complain about the season, but yeah, if you go in and lose in front of a friendly crowd to a team that really was expected to be rebuilding this year, like it's a little bit tough to take.
So I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's separate, I guess, the high major teams from a potential sleeper team. Give me a couple of teams that you think are overvalued from a major conference. So like Purdue, perhaps, maybe a Nebraska. Maybe you're not as high on them, whoever you think they can be. And then also give me a couple of teams that you think are being a little bit undervalued. Cinderella maybe might not be St. Peter's anymore or Florida Gulf Coast. It might be that 10 or 11 seed or one of the teams in the first four, like NC State, that can go on a little bit of a run. Give me a couple power schools that you think are overvalued heading into this tournament. Give me a couple that you think are undervalued that you think can make a little bit of a run.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've kicked UConn a few times, but they're a team that I feel like is overvalued. And if you're filling out a bracket, like there's not a lot of value in picking them, because I do think a lot of people are still going to pick them, but I don't necessarily have high hopes for them. You mentioned Nebraska as well. Like Nebraska has the hex a little bit of poor preseason expectations, which you think don't mean anything this time of year, but actually they kind of do. I mean, it's historically teams underperform once they get to the tournament who had poor preseason expectations, and Nebraska's had a great season and deserving of a 4 seed, but maybe a tad overrated, a bit fortunate during the season. So I'd be a little careful about them. If you want to flip it to the double-digit seeds, I'm certainly not the first person on your show to bring up Santa Clara, but that's a team that has played really well out of the WCC. They open with Kentucky, which is a very winnable game, and that's a team I would keep an eye on. I mean, they made a big splash, made big news in the offseason when they signed a G League guy, Terry Darlon, and Terry Darlon actually doesn't even start for them. Like he comes off the bench. He's not a terribly important player for them. They're just it gives you an idea of like just how deep they are. Is what I'm trying to get at. They got another guy, Alan Graves, who's probably going to find himself in the NBA someday. He too does not start for them. He comes off the bench. So Santa Clara is a team, an odd mid-major team that has really like NBA upside on some of their roster, but also significant depth. And so that's a team that really plays like a power conference team.
Give me a mid-major school or so that you like. For example, I really like VCU. I think they're going to win in that first-round matchup against North Carolina. Carolina, since the injury to Caleb Wilson, I think they've been leaking oil a little bit. I like VCU to win in the first round. That's basically a coin flip at this point. Wouldn't really consider that to be an upset. Are there a couple of those mid-major schools that people just didn't watch throughout the course of the regular season that you think have a chance to win in the first or second round?
Yeah, so good call on Carolina. And I would also say about Carolina, like even when they had Caleb Wilson, they were another team that was I think overrated based on the name on the jersey. Obviously, without Caleb Wilson, they have big problems. So that's a good call on that. I'd also throw St. Louis in there. They struggled a bit down the stretch, but just a really solid, well-run offense under Josh Schertz. So they could be trouble. I'd add Utah State in that mix, coming out of the Mountain West. This is probably the best team that Utah State has ever had, and that's saying something. I mean, they're a pretty regular tournament participant, but they'll open up with Villanova, and that really should be, one of the most interesting games of the first round, just high-level basketball on both sides there. So those are three teams that, if we're calling the Atlantic 10 and the Mountain West mid-majors, certainly not power conferences, those would be the teams I'd look at.
Kid, I think we're headed towards Miami of Ohio getting the beats tomorrow. I can just kind of feel it. The last 2 weeks, I thought they were kind of leaking oil. They barely squeaked into the NCAA tournament. The public is betting at like a 78% clip on them. I can just see this being a SMU 73-60 win on Wednesday night. You can just see it loading up.
I mean, so many narratives are going to be built off whatever the result of that game is. I have a little bit of hope for Miami, I will say. Historically, so it's obviously unusual. I think this is the biggest point spread for a first four game in the history of the first four. But the biggest point spread in like a 6-11 game, I believe, was BYU Duquesne 2 years ago, and Duquesne won that game fairly easily. And then there was the Iowa Richmond game maybe 3 or 4 years ago, which was also a big point spread, I think in a 5-12 game, and Richmond won that game outright. So I'm not giving up on Miami. I certainly wouldn't pick them to win it outright, but I'm not that high. I don't know what people see necessarily in SMU, and I think Miami's obviously going to have plenty of motivation and a chip on their shoulder. Obviously less talent, and that's ultimately a problem, but we'll see what happens. If they get run out of the gym, I mean, oh man, are the knives going to be out for the mid-majors after that?
Are you a French toast, waffle, or pancake guy?
French toast, man. I mean, you cannot beat a good French toast. Not great for the waistline, but certainly a great mental way to start the day.
What ingredients do you put in your omelet?
More veggies, green peppers, onions, mushrooms. Yeah, Denver omelet is the go-to for me.
Yeah, veggies are kind of one of those things, like you mentioned green peppers and onions are those things. Like if I could go talk to 12-year-old me, I would never believe how much I like those things today, because as a 12-year-old would have never put that in my omelet. Now, I don't want to eat the omelet if it doesn't have it inside of it.
Right. Yeah, there's no question. Same goes for pizza. It used to be, pepperoni and sausage and load up on the meats, and now it's no, I'm down with some all those same ingredients, bell pepper and onions and mushrooms. Yeah.
That is Ken Pomeroy joining us on the show today. We learned a little bit about him. We also learned a little bit about basketball. Ken Pomeroy, I got all the respect for you. I don't think there's a better guest to have on a sports talk radio show to break down the brackets than you. It was really cool to have you on the show. Really appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's Ken Pomeroy joining us on the show today. Rob, what do you put in your omelet? Like if you're at a hotel and they got a little omelet bar, a little omelet station, what are you throwing in there?
I mean, I'm pretty close to a Denver omelet. I like a nice little green pepper, a little onion, a little bacon, cheese, tomato. I mean, I do a little spinach in there too. They got the spinach option. That's kind of how I
was
play
just going to say that. You know what doesn't get enough credit in the omelet? Arugula. Arugula deserves its respect. It deserves its flowers when it comes to an omelet.
I also put a little jalapeno in there, a little spice it up.
All right, here you go. You throwing jalapenos in there?
I mean, I'm not asking for full giant.
You want the firecracker omelet?
Oh, you act like jalapeno is a Carolina Reaper. It's a very regular pepper.
Yeah, I'm not throwing the jalapenos in mine. Not at all. The arugula is going to give me all the flavor that I need. I love an arugula. I'm happy we got a chance to catch up with Ken Palm. I will say, Rob, and I know it's the NCAA tournament. Anything can happen. And I'm not even saying this to try to jinx KU. I'm not. I don't know if I could be worried about Cal Baptist if I was a KU fan. I really don't know. Hey, they had a great season. They deserve to make the NCAA tournament. They made the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to them. I mean, but what are we doing here? I mean, they beat one team that you heard of this season. It was Oregon State. That was the only team that they beat that you heard of this season. Everybody else, it's just who? You have no clue who the rest of these other teams are. Their best player is 5'10". If Kansas loses to that team, we got to have some real conversations about Bill Self. I'm serious. We got to have some real. There is absolutely no reason to lose to Cal Baptist if you are Kansas. I'm not saying you got to beat them by 40. This game, you should not be nervous at any point in the second half going up against Cal Baptist if you are Kansas. Not with the top 5 pick in the NBA draft. Not with McDonald's All-Americans on the rest of the roster. This should not be a game in which you are sweating out. You shouldn't have to stay up super late for the conclusion of the Kansas game against Cal Baptist. You should just have a good understanding of, we got this under control. I'm going to go to bed.
I mean, it kind of reminds me, now, okay, you got thumped in the second round, but a few years ago, they were out in Salt Lake. They took on like Penn or Princeton or one of the Ivy Leagues.
That to me, Penn or Princeton is a little bit different than playing this Cal Baptist
But
team.
KU thumped them by like 25, and it was just, all right. Then they had to play Auburn the next round. And it was, okay, now back to earth. But yeah, the 4-3 team of Kansas kind of points out exactly what you and Ken Pomeroy were talking about. Cinderella might be a little dead. There used to be a time where like, a 13 could be spicy. They're like a 14.5-point dog against Kansas.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at it like this would be I'd have a little bit of a different feeling if they could just like outright just shoot it and score. I mean, they're 291st in points scored. Like this isn't even a team that you're worried about getting up and down the court and just running and just outscoring Kansas. I don't even think they have that capability. I could see them keeping it close and just being tough for a little bit. It's the NCAA tournament. That could definitely be the case. If Kansas is in danger of losing to Cal Baptist, something has gone terribly wrong in the game. Like, terribly wrong.
I will say this.
Especially given the fact that I don't know if there is a team that has been more tested throughout the course of the season than Kansas. Think about all the teams they have played this year. And really, every single turn they have been tested. Tested in the non-con. They play in the best conference in college basketball. All this team has done has played tests. Like, if we were going through the team, Cal Baptist is probably one of the 5 worst teams Kansas has played this year.
I will say this, though, about Ken Pom. I know we're up against the break. The Bill James of college basketball is saying a lot of the same things about St. John's that I've been saying.
He doesn't like them. No, you're right. He does not like them.
If they didn't play at Madison Square Garden with Rick Pitino, you would look at the underlying numbers and go, wait, what? But ESPN, everyone's talking about, dark horse to the Elite Eight. And we're doing this all over again when we did it 12 months ago, and everyone looks stupid. I don't understand the St. John's love. KU might not make this Sweet 16. It's college basketball. You never know. Maybe they lose to UNI again in the second round. But the absolute love fest that we're having for St. John's puzzles me to no end.
I want to apologize for earlier. We talked about marijuana for way longer than I had anticipated, and that's my fault. We were going to talk about Daniel Jeremiah in his mock draft. So I promise you we will do that next. I will not be derailed. I will not be distracted. I will not bring up, no. Coming up on the other side, you can bank it. I guarantee it. We will talk about Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft because I'm assuming it will make you mad. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money line, spread, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for these bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the upcoming tournament. Guys, come on now. You know I'm going to be taking Kansas, but also some other teams to watch out for. I'm a Big 12 homer, so I'm a believer in Houston, Iowa State, and Arizona might be the best team. They could go all the way. FanDuel, it's time to dance. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet to expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, 1 national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th through the 24th. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Hey guys, it's Cody and Golden. Learning the skills is only part of the journey. And over at Centric, turning those skills into a career is where people need the most support. And with Centric's 4-month IT program built around something different, a clear career pathway.
And that's where Centric's career services team comes in. They're going to help coach you through the resume building, interview preparation, and guidance, along with a real entry-level IT job with local employers. And if you're serious about making that career move, you got to just talk to our friend Russ Mondry and schedule that career pathway call. Go to Centric.com for more.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Join Cody and Gold live from 10 until 2 at International Tap House in the Crossroads this Thursday and Friday to watch the tournament games, along with our friends at Circus Sports. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
There's a new crash, Raytown 435 southbound on the ramp to 350 highway eastbound. You will tap your brakes. Headed down into Shawnee 35 southbound. The stall is at Lamar, blocking part of the right lane. Looks like a big truck. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I have three things that I want to get to in this segment. Number one. Now, I know that you guys like mock drafts, and I know you take these mock drafts very seriously. But, I mean, if you were doing mock drafts in January, I mean, the Chiefs now have 2 first-round picks. The Broncos don't have a first-round pick. The Dolphins now have 2 first-round picks. The Ravens traded their first-round picks and then got them right back. Can't you see how these mock drafts are just they're kind of silly? You can't see how they're kind of silly now at this point. Now, hey, if you like mock drafts, mock away. I got no issues with that. That's what you're into. But just can't you see now how all that time that you spent on that mock draft in January, it doesn't matter. You wasted your time. It was a failed exercise. So we have Daniel Jeremiah on the show. Now, I got all the respect in the world for mock drafts. I got all the respect in the world for Daniel Jeremiah. I think that you can argue Daniel Jeremiah is the best NFL draft analyst. So I am happy, thrilled that he is going to be on the show tomorrow. There's a lot of things for us to talk about. I'm going through his mock draft. We'll go through this quick. Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Francis. How do you pronounce the guy's last name? Mayoga? You know how to pronounce it, Rob.
I know who the guy is.
Yes, the offensive tackle from Miami. All right, thank you for your help there. I tagged you in. You couldn't help me. Thank you. Jeremiah Love going number 4. Sonny Styles. I mean, just a very Giants thing to do to take Nick Bolton with the 5th overall pick. Just a very Giants thing to do.
Wait, are Bailey and Bain both on the board?
Hold on, no. Okay. Let me keep going. Number 6, Carnell Tate. Number 7, Reuben Bain Jr. Number 8, David Bailey. Now we get to the Chiefs. Look at who's all on the board. Caleb Downs is still on the board. Every wide receiver other than Carnell Tate is on the board. The top corner is on the board. Who does he have the Chiefs taking? Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah. He had a little blurb there. I'm going to ask about this blurb tomorrow. Fano can immediately start at right tackle and eventually kick inside to guard if necessary. I'm serious. If the Chiefs draft an interior offensive lineman with the 9th overall pick, everybody fired. Key card deactivated immediately. You cannot do that. It then goes on to say, the Chiefs will have excellent information on him because of Andy Reid's relationship with former Utah head coach and former BYU teammate Kyle Whittingham. That's interesting. Something we have not talked about. Now, I've told you guys where I want them to do. I would like for them to draft David Bailey. That'd be my ideal. If they don't get David Bailey, I'd like for them to draft a wide receiver. All I'm saying, don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger here. I don't know how you can follow the Kansas City Chiefs and be stunned if they drafted an offensive lineman. I don't know how you can do that. You're telling me the same organization that traded the 1st-round pick for Orlando Brown Jr., the same team that made Joe Thuney the highest-paid interior offensive lineman and then made Trey Smith the highest-paid interior offensive lineman, the same team that went out and their big free agency push was to go get Jalen Moore and then he didn't start for them, the same team that gave Jawan Taylor $72 million and then restructured his deal to guarantee that he was on the team. The same team that spent the 1st-round pick on Josh Simmons. You'd be stunned if they draft another offensive lineman. I would say that's in line with what they normally do. I would say it fits the description is what I would say. I don't know if they're taking an offensive lineman. You don't know if they're taking an offensive lineman. All I'm saying is I would not be shocked. I would not be stunned. I think it's more likely they take an offensive lineman than they take a corner. I think it's more likely they take an offensive lineman than they go off the board and reach and take some edge rusher. I think we're getting kind of close to the point. There's only about 5 players I think they would realistically take that are going to be there. Like Arvell Reese ain't going to be there. Jeremiah Love's not going to be there at this point. I think there's about 5 players in the window, and I think you are kidding yourself if you don't think an offensive lineman is in that window. I think you are kidding yourself. I think there is a strong chance, like a 20, 25, 30% chance that they will take an offensive lineman. Now, they also could take a wide receiver. Bain could potentially drop. It's the draft. It's unpredictable. But this Spencer Fano kid, guys like Daniel Jeremiah, they're not at the top of the draft. They're not randomly guessing at the top of the draft. You might start to randomly guess once you get to like 26, 27. But once you get to the top 10, you are hearing this from somebody after the combine. You did not just sit down at the computer and start pecking away and guessing on what you think they could do.
If they take a lineman who the write-up says he could start at tackle but maybe kick into guard. So if they're taking a swing tackle at 9, that is just the worst use of draft capital ever. Me and you and the text line can disagree on running back at 9.
But I guess let me ask it. I'm sorry to cut you off. I guess why? Why would it be the worst use of it? I hate to be the one that says this. They would be better off taking a tackle than taking Caleb Downs.
A right tackle?
They would be better off having their left tackle for the future, their right tackle of the future, and their center. They would be in a better position if they had 3 of their 5 offensive linemen figured out for the next 8 years. They would be in a better position that way than drafting Caleb Downs. Again, I'm not telling you I want them to draft the right tackle. A right tackle is not fun. It is not sexy. We will get far more value this summer as a radio show if they draft one of those positions. But I just don't know how you can see how they value the offensive and defensive line, and they got a chance to take maybe the second best offensive line prospect and think they are not seriously, strongly considering it.
Yeah, but the second best offensive line prospect, it sounds like the write-up from Daniel Jeremiah, he projects out to be a guard.
They said if it doesn't work. I don't want you to do. He said
that sounds like Kingsley Suamafia.
He said he can start immediately at right tackle and eventually kick inside to guard if necessary. A day one starter for them at right tackle.
It would be. You're right. It's better value than safety, but
yes,
we're arguing about positions 21 versus 22 in the positional value chart.
Rob, have you been following the Chiefs? This is the Chiefs that ran to pay their center. This is the Chiefs that franchise tagged their right guard last year. They franchise tagged him. You know how wild that is? I tell you this all the time. Stop talking about positional value from the Rob Britton brain and start talking about it from the Brett Veach brain. You and him do not have the same positional value chart. He values center and right guard and running back and inside linebacker. You don't. You don't value those things. So I get it. They got the 9th overall pick, and you want to go get the shiny toy. If somebody told you right now, go pick any car on the lot, you're picking the sports car. I'm telling you that Brett Veach, he might pick the truck. He might. You cannot be shocked if he picks the truck. You cannot be. That's all I'm saying. I don't want them to do it. Again, it is much better for the show. It is much more entertaining if they take a wide receiver. It is much more entertaining if they take Caleb Downs. If they take a right tackle, I will be very frustrated on the show. We can't get no content out of that. I can't create no clickbait about right tackle at 9. That's not fun. That guy's not on your fantasy team. You're not excited. Not fun. That guy's not else. Nobody wants that. But I just you can't tell me you can't see it, especially because they have 2 first-round picks. Let's solidify our offensive line around Pat and put more around them, and then we'll take a different swing on the back half of the first round. I want you to prepare. We got Daniel Jeremiah on the show tomorrow. We'll ask him directly about this. But right now, he has the Chiefs taking a right tackle with Spencer Fano, the very talented offensive lineman out of Utah. We'll reset things coming up at the top of the hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
There's a new crash, Raytown 435 southbound on the ramp to 350 highway eastbound. You will tap your brakes. Headed down into Shawnee 35 southbound. The stall is at Lamar, blocking part of the right lane. Looks like a big truck. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come see us in store. Shane Company engagement rings are crafted with care from our hands to yours. Because a friend wants your ring to be nothing short of perfect. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Spring getaway on the calendar? Start your trip stress-free with Park & Go, open 24/7 with all covered parking, so your car's protected from the elements. Quick shuttle service right to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned and operated.
Net big cash at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through March 28th, earn to swipe your Caesars reward card at a Net Big Cash kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect letters to spell out winning words to score up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us March 28th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now's the time to complete that painting project you've been putting off. CertaPro Painters provides a free estimate quickly and at the right price. Whether it's interior or exterior, you'll never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable updates because they know how important your home is to you. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
It's Chris Mack with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. The second half of tonight's doubleheader in Dayton serves as an argument against expanding the tournament field. 2 teams, Texas and NC State, that stumbled to the finish line, losing 5 of their final 6 each, behind terrible defense and the need to get hot from beyond the arc to consistently produce offense. Lucky for us, Texas and NC State in the first 4 may mean bad basketball, but it doesn't have to mean boring basketball. Both teams are 7-3 to the over in their last 10, and with the total sitting at 158.5, as long as both teams don't go ice-cold shooting, we should feel good about the over. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions and unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
We've all been there. You wake up and your knees give you that not today feeling, and it's frustrating and exhausting. Honestly, it's unfair. Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel way older than you actually are. QC Kinetics patients are getting relief, feeling younger, and jumping back into life at full speed without surgery. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science. They take the tiny, powerful healing tools already inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation eases and joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate. Your consultation's free. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Vern's On Deck show for the Royals home opener against the Twins on March 30th starts at 2. First pitch just after 3. All right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, can we go back just a little bit? I promise you we'll get to college basketball here. But somebody said, C-Dot, there's no way you just said that. So I just want to go back, and I want to repeat what I said. Daniel Jeremiah, who's going to be on the show, I think Daniel Jeremiah is the best NFL draft voice that is out there. Daniel Jeremiah has the Chiefs taking a tackle. Now, it is a mock draft, so I'm not going to be too mad about it. I'm taking whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's only one mock draft that matters, the actual one that matters. I said that I'd rather the Chiefs take an offensive lineman than take Caleb Downs. Text line went crazy. Sometimes I think we play this game, and I like Caleb Downs. I think he's a fantastic player. I think we play this game where we only give best case scenario to him. We don't give it to the other side. So this would be, Rob, what do you think the best case scenario for Caleb Downs is? Kyle Hamilton? Really, really good player. All-pro player, clear best player at his position.
I've been saying Eric Berry, more of a ball hawk, but yeah.
Okay.
All pro safety is the ceiling.
Would you rather have Eric Berry or Lane Johnson?
Me or Brett Veach?
Either one.
Probably Lane Johnson still.
I think you'd rather have Lane Johnson than have I think if you presented that scenario. Now again, I'm not saying that Spencer Fano is going to turn out to be Lane Johnson. I have no clue. I don't know if Caleb Downs is going to turn out to be Eric Berry or Kyle Hamilton or not. But a lot of this is just the positional value argument, and nobody wants to hear it because it's not cool to talk about offensive tackle. And when you got the 9th overall pick, you want to take a super big sizzle swing. You guys, I am not saying this. You guys are telling me they already got an all-pro caliber left tackle after 8 games. You saw so much in those 8 games from Josh Simmons. You are convinced they have a potential generational left tackle over there. If they think they can find something comparable on the right side, I think it's something that they should really think about. Again, I want them to take a wide receiver. I want them to take the guy who's going to have 1,200 yards. It's certainly more fun if they do that. But I'm just throwing this out there. What if this is the play? What if they take Spencer Fano with the 9th overall pick? What if they get that kid, KC Concepcion, the very talented wide receiver from Texas A&M, and they get him with the 29th overall pick? And then they spend the 40th overall pick. They spend that on a defensive lineman. Is that a terrible way to use your top 3 picks in the NFL draft? I don't know if that's a terrible way to spend it. If they draft the right tackle, they will have left tackle figured out. They will have center figured out. They have right guard figured out and right tackle figured out. I remember there was a time where the most important thing was protecting Patrick Mahomes. That was all anybody said. Rob, you and I were like, hey, let's go get a wide receiver. Hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. No, you got to protect Pat. He's the okay, all right, cool. What if they really still believe that? What if they think that it is better to draft a right tackle than take a safety? A safety is not protecting Patrick Mahomes. A right tackle is. I'm throwing it out there. I don't think right tackle is the absolute worst idea. It's not the best idea. It's not what I would do. But if they end up taking a right tackle, the way they will spin the logic will make a lot of sense to me. We got a chance to potentially have the best offensive line in the National Football League. That's what we think we have the chance to have. We have a top 10 running back. We think we could have the best offensive line in the National Football League, and we think we got the best quarterback. And we think that is the foundation of having a top 5 offense. I can't tell you that's a terrible strategy if that's what they end up doing.
I mean, this is where the Brett Veach versus Rob Britton philosophy are just so different. I would say that's not a great philosophy because it means that you spent money and kept Jalen Moore, who stinks. Because one part of this equation, and I get your logic, I'm not trying to argue too hard in the weeds here, is when they're selling that, they will fail to admit that there was an out in Jalen Moore's contract that they just straight up didn't take. So if you're taking a tackle at 10, but you're keeping Jalen Moore as an expensive swing position, it's not great cap management.
I also find it a little bit disingenuous. And maybe this is me going back and it's different people on the text line. Rob, I remember 3 weeks ago, the text line was arguing that Josh Simmons would be a top 10 pick if they did a redraft. Just 2 weeks ago, I was like, what are you guys talking about? No, he wouldn't. Yes, he would. Okay. So if you're telling me that you think Josh Simmons is worth taking that, then Spencer Fano, who I think actually could be a better offensive lineman than him, certainly is a healthier offensive lineman, and I would say at this point plays as equally as important as a position. I don't know if there's a big difference in right and left tackle, not in 2026, and certainly not with the way that Pat moves around in the pocket. I don't know if there's a drastically difference in the two. So, I mean, last year it was a champion for got to go get an offensive lineman. Man, I can't believe this. We got a top 10 talent for offensive line. What if they got a chance to take another top 10 talent at the other offensive tackle position and have it solidified for the next 10 years? Just something to consider. Again, I want them to take David Bailey. That would be my number one. If you're asking me right now, what is your ideal scenario? I would take David Bailey. I also would take one of the wide receivers. But I remember I used to argue about wide receiver, and the thought was Pat can make anybody a great wide receiver. Remember that thought? People used to say about anybody. Oh, well, you don't got to draft them. Oh, okay, all right. I'm happy to know that people have finally come over to the other side of, hey, maybe we should just draft impact skill position players and see what happens. Great. Good. I'm happy that we're on this point. I wish we were always on this point because they wouldn't have spent $100 and something million on their right guard, and they would have a much better wide receiver room if I was the general manager of the team. They also would have had a running back last year if I was the general manager of the team, and they wouldn't have had to go get Kenneth Walker. They'd be in a different spot. I just wanted to throw that out there. We'll ask Daniel Jeremiah tomorrow. The text line will be so mad if they go right tackle. If they draft right tackle with the 9th overall pick, oh, it will be so good. It'll be really good that first day for the show. It will not be good any other days after, but it'll be good that first day for the show.
And then trade out at 29. That would be the ultimate sin for the text line.
That's that you want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
If they draft a right tackle at 9 and then trade out late, like you stay up and you keep watching it, and then when it gets to like 27, they trade out at 29. I'm not. Come on now. You're wishing evil on the text line. That's what it is. You're wishing evil.
I'm just saying, you're talking about watching the world burn. That would be the penultimate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're wishing evil on the text line. I'm not rooting for that. All right, a lot of things to get to, actually. We'll talk a little college basketball. The Denver Broncos made a significant trade. There's a lot happening as we're getting ready for March Madness. Hit it, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington Hits are brought to you by the Salvation Army. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com. The Salvation Army Civic Lunch will take place on May 7th.
The answer could be yes, and that's perfectly fine. Like, both things can be true. Do you think the excitement for the WBC in Kansas City is the patriotism part of it, or that the Royals are having so much success in it? Which of those two do you think is driving the interest? Because there is a clear interest in Kansas City. There is a clear, I'm assuming tonight, whenever the ratings come out, Kansas City will either be 1 or 2 in WBC ratings for tonight's game. Do you think that's the United States aspect, or do you think that is the fact that so many Royals are playing in this and have played really, really well?
I'm actually gonna lean it's the Royals players more than it is the United States. Because now maybe I'm a victim of social media here, and I'm open to that idea. But I get more buzz and hype on my social media channels, like last night when Michael Garcia's hitting big hits to get game-winning type of runs. I'm seeing more energy on social media when Pasquantino has a 3-home-run game. When Jack Caglione was hammering homers against Team USA. That was blowing up social media. Bobby Early, with the great plays behind Skeens against the Mexico game, got social media buzz. But the big talking point out of the match, the game against the Dominican Republic, was not Bobby Witt. While Pasquantino, Michael Garcia, all those guys still have been. So I think the buzz in Kansas City has more to do with the players than it does the patriotism.
I want you to roll this audio in because Alex Rodriguez was talking about the team. I'm happy. I am thrilled because of this. I think that Kansas City kind of has like a love-hate thing with the Royals that is very different than it is with the other teams. Now, some of it is just benefit of the doubt, and I understand how the Chiefs get the benefit of the doubt in almost every single scenario. They got trophies. They got championships. They are in the middle of a dynasty. They have the most popular player in the league on their team. It's the National Football League. I get it, right? Completely understand. I would say when it comes to colleges, I saw Kansas football be bad for basically 15 years. And the moment they showed any level of promise, that place was full. Sold out. Boom. Couldn't wait. Excited. Hey, it didn't take much to get Kansas fans back excited. K-State. The moment Colin Klein shows you any reason, we are out there, we are supporting it, we're going to the college football playoff, we are in. Missouri, the exact same way. The Royals got to kind of fight for your love and attention in a way that I'm not sure if the other teams have to. Like, they got to do a little bit more, I think. But when they have it, people are absolutely locked in. I said this earlier. I think this is the most positive outlook that people have had about the Royals since the vote failed in downtown Kansas City. I think this is the most conversation, the most excitement, the most enthusiasm. This March and how their players have performed in the World Baseball Classic has been the best thing for the Royals. It has been the greatest commercial. It would not matter how they were doing in spring training. You would roll your eyes if they were performing really well in spring training. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, the Royals are going to win the Cactus League or the Grapefruit League. We don't care about that. Wait till the season gets here. If they were doing the exact same things, no one would care. But doing it on this stage, doing it against this level of competition, seeing the crowd, seeing the enthusiasm, seeing the buy-in from everybody, the Royals have been the story of the World Baseball Classic, in my opinion. I think they have been the story. The last time I thought it was Shohei and Shohei going up against Mike Trout, I think the storyline of this tournament has been, look at the young talent on the Royals, from their star in Bobby Witt Jr. to Maikel Garcia, who has really developed into an all-star, to Vinny Pasquantino, who looks like he is on the verge of hitting 30, 40 home runs, to their bullpen, to Jack Caglione, to everybody. For, I would say, the first time probably since 2013, it feels like the Royals got like a really solidified core of young talent, and you feel like something big is coming. Now, I don't think any of us knew in 2013 the ride that we were going to go on over the next 3 years with the Royals, but I think there certainly was an optimism around the Royals heading into the 2013 season. Hey, you know what? The Royals are pretty good. I think that's how you were going to come out of the World Baseball Classic and should come out of the World Baseball Classic. The Royals are good. People nationally are talking about the Royals being good. Not Royals Twitter, not the text line, not just blue optimism of, oh, this is the year. No, I mean legitimately. Here's Alex Rodriguez. I know Alex Rodriguez is, he might have done some illegal things. Alex Rodriguez might be one of the 10 greatest living baseball players. Like, if we were just talking sheer ability, A-Rod might be one of the 10 greatest living baseball players. Listen to what he said about the Royals today.
One of the great baseball towns. Still remember the World Series in '85 when you guys and Brett Saberhagen beat the Cardinals.
Yes.
But what I will say is you guys are loaded and you have a tremendous future, and they've been incredibly well represented in the WBC. If you're a Kansas City Royal fan like you, Nick, and all the millions of other fans, I mean, they could not be more proud. They probably can't wait for the season to start.
I don't know who's in charge of marketing with the Royals. Please call me. You guys got my number. I know you got it. I have marketing ideas of what you need to do to capitalize on what is happening right now. There is a buzz about the Royals. I would say most of the Royals stories since the vote have been, oh, let's get this over with. Oh, it's always like that with the Royals. It's like a measure of frustration. There was like a 60-day window of Jack Caglione when he was coming up that there was more buzz and excitement about Jack Caglione. Then he got here, and then we were like, oh, okay. Everybody's optimistic right now. There is not a single negative Royal story that exists right now. not about anybody or anything. We don't even talk about the stadium anymore. They still haven't figured the stadium out. We don't even care anymore. They're 2 weeks away from opening day. If the weather's good, it'll be sold out. The crowd will be there. There's a lot of, hey, we're going to make the playoffs. We can win the division. Good. Capitalize on this momentum. They need to have WBC Day out at the K. They need to be coming up with some giveaways to celebrate this right now. They need to have a promotion, a commercial going the moment the World Baseball Classic is over. The same way that when teams win national championships, Nike has a commercial or a big billboard up around town. That's the kind of love the Royals need right now. They need a billboard going up tomorrow at Power and Light, celebrating what their baseball team accomplished. Come out to the stadium. They need something right there on I-70, Kansas City's team and America's team, right then and there. That's what the Royals should be doing right now in their department. And you know what? We're giving you Royals TV free for the first week of the season. Celebrate our success. Come watch this baseball team. That's what they should be doing.
Number 2.
We work for the marketing for the Royals, man. I'm bringing back dollar hot dogs every day.
You doing 12 hits if you're back?
100%. Lowering beer prices.
That feels like a double-edged sword, but neither here nor there.
$2 beer night at the K.
Call it DUI night.
I wasn't prepared for DUI night at the K. I mean, have you seen them play baseball in the past? They've definitely had that promotion before. That ain't the first time they've had that before. I've sat out there where drinking was the only fun activity when it came to Royals baseball. All right, Rob, can you fade the music down just a little bit? Let me get serious. Let me get serious again. Is there anything Darren Peterson can do at this point, or is it too far gone? I would say there is a decent portion of KU fans, a decent portion of KU fans that think they are better without Darren Peterson. We were just having that conversation in the newsroom. I think Kansas is better without Darren Peterson. There is a portion of KU fans that it is over when it comes to him. Honestly, it is over with him. He is not going to get the standing ovation when he comes back. He is not going to be beloved. There is that portion. Is it quite simply he needs to play well and they need to advance and make the Final Four? Because if this goes how the seeding says it will go, they will comfortably beat California Baptist. They will probably be a slight underdog against St. John's. I don't think it'll be a massive underdog. They'll be like a 2, maybe 1.5 point dog. It'll be a coin flip kind of game. If this goes according to Vegas's projections of the NCAA tournament, is there any turning back when it comes to Darren Peterson, or is that conversation just over?
I'd love to tell you I have a definitive answer. I worry that it's over, but I think it's over for the casuals. I think people who are, I don't want to say more serious about Kansas basketball, but they watch every dribble. Actual Kansas fans, not the type that pop up in March and have, I love this team. They weren't watching when they played TCU. I think actual Kansas fans, if he starts balling out and they play the seed and they give Duke a game, like I'm not talking about getting blown out by Duke, I think those KU fans will look back at the Darren Peterson era and say it was tumultuous. He battled injury, but by bringing him in, you opened up yourself to the chance of bringing in Stokes or bringing in whoever the next version of this player is. And it wasn't great, but you'd rather have that talent on the roster than the alternative. So I think KU fans like that will eventually feel that way. I don't know you're ever going to win back the newsroom type, for example. I don't think the people who are casually watching a handful of games, maybe go to 1 or 2 a year, are ever going to turn back. They have already decided that the problem with this team is that Darren Peterson is soft, and they're not turning around. So I think there's a fraction in the fan base, and I think one side's never coming back, and one side is salvageable for Darren Peterson.
I think, I can't definitively say, I understand the experience didn't go how Missouri fans wanted it to go. There is a measure of pride that you have that Michael Porter picked going to Mizzou when he could have quite literally picked anywhere else. That You stayed home. You went to Mizzou. Your back just gave out. It just didn't work. I still think Missouri would do it again with Michael Porter, even with everything that we know, even with him getting hurt for the Iowa State game, not playing another regular season game, playing in the SEC and NCAA tournament. They lost both of those games. I would still do it again with Michael Porter. Do you think the KU fans would go through this experience again with Darren Peterson? I would say that Darren Peterson has given some cool moments at Kansas. I don't think he's given a lot of great cool moments at Kansas, but he has. The TCU game that they had, they lose that game if Darren Peterson is not on the team. They had a pretty incredible comeback at Allen Fieldhouse, and he steps up and hits the free throws. I don't know if they win the Texas Tech game on the road without Darren Peterson. So, it's not like he has done nothing at Kansas. It has just not come close to living up to the hype. Rob, can you imagine? And I know we were having fun with it. You were calling him Kobe and doing all that stuff. We were having fun with it. Can you imagine if I told you that Darren Peterson wasn't going to make first, second, or third team All-American? You would have told me that I was crazy for that opinion, right? You'd have told me that I was insane.
I would have told you he got hurt.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you would have told me back when you were playing all the clips and we were going back and forth about it, if I had told you he is not going to make first, second, or third team. And, I know we kind of joke. I mean, he certainly played in enough games to make one of those three teams. If he was having a AJ DeBance this season but only played in 22 games, he would have made one of the three teams when it came to All-American. It has not gone the way that anybody thought it would go. Now, equipped with the information that you have, do you think the KU would go back and go through this experience again? Because I could only compare it to Michael Porter. I think Missouri fans would go through it again with Michael Porter. I think most KU fans would say, no, we don't want him.
I think the answer would be very different for fans versus Bill Self. I think Bill Self takes Darren Peterson 100 times out of 100. Because I do think, and we had Lada, the beat writer for the Kansas City Star on the show earlier, and he said that it is a literal worst-case scenario what could have happened with Darren Peterson in Kansas. Outside of him having the Michael Porter injury where it was just out in totality, this is as bad as it could have gone. But I still think, all things considered, it was not the worst experience ever, and Bill Self would do it all over again because you take that risk on talent 100 times out of 100. I don't know if fans feel the same way, but I also think fans are a little spoiled with Kansas because, to your Missouri analogy, Missouri fans look back on it fondly because, and it's not a shot, they don't pull the Michael Porter kid out of high school ever. It's the outlier, so you wax poetically about it.
They announced the Jason Crow, the freshman point guard. He got a standing ovation when they announced him. Yeah, I mean, on senior day, a day in which Mark Mitchell had 30 points. They announced the #1 high school point guard. Place went crazy. Yeah. They went crazy like Chase Daniel showed up.
So I think Kansas fans are spoiled in the fact that top recruits just roll through here, no big deal. So they'll think, whatever, this one didn't work. I wouldn't do it again, but on to the next, which could literally be Stokes in a few weeks. So I don't think fans would, but I think Bill Self would every time.
Do you think KU fans are over the one and done?
Yes. I think they were that way before Darren Peterson, though.
I agree. But I'm just saying is now you compound. This was supposed to be the one and done. And I will say, I guess, I don't know for whatever reason. Maybe it is the basketball gods and fate. It has kind of worked for everybody else other than Kansas. It has worked for Duke. It has worked for North Carolina. It has worked for Kentucky. All of the it's worked for Gonzaga better than I think it's worked for Kansas. They've never had Jalen Suggs as a 1 year, just come in here, freshman point guard, top 5 pick, to take them to the Final Four. They've never, Chet Holmgren, they've never had that kind of guy before. So, I certainly understand your logic is, yes, you got to take that guy every single time. The #1 high school player is considering going to Kansas. Yes, we will take that guy.
I think KU fans have been done with the one and done for a while. I think it's because they keep not getting the results. And it's also results is relative here. Andrew Wiggins was averaging 18 points a night at Kansas. They just lost in the second round. That team just flawed. Darren Peterson's averaging 19 points a night. They might lose in the first, second, or third round. We don't know. Team was just flawed. I think KU fans hold the results against the player more so than other teams. Because there have been Kentucky teams that had great one and dones that were early exits. Does anyone remember Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's run at Kentucky in the tournament?
No, not at all.
No, because it didn't really happen. But Kentucky fans it doesn't matter. He went to Kentucky, where KU fans always only look at the results.
At some point, are we going to have a conversation about Bill Self and the recruiting and the fact that the University of Kansas has 6 good basketball players on their team? Are we going to have that conversation at some point? Because I do feel
their bench is bad, but if you're going to have that conversation,
it's real bad.
Yeah, bad's an understatement. If we're going to have that conversation, it's worth noting it's portal bad and recruiting bad are different. He's got the top class in the country next year without Stokes, and if he gets Stokes, it gets better.
Like just always, I can never go to ESPN. Every time I try, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be different this time. No, it is never ever different. I'm simply just asking the question of the University of Kansas. They have 6 good basketball players on their team.
Who's the 6th?
Which sounds crazy. Which sounds crazy. I just feel like every year Kansas fans pick a different person. That is the problem. And I would argue again, the problem with Kansas is they are built incorrectly. They're built wrong this year.
Well, I don't want to get into tweets. Their offense built around Darren being special, and when Darren's more Theragun than special, it does hurt the offense.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I can't argue that.
Now we can have a conversation. We need a break about if 18-year-old go be special is a good offensive and recruiting philosophy, but that is what they did.
No, for sure. I look at Arizona and how they're building their team. And just the fact that like the talent that Kansas has and the talent that like it blows my mind that Kansas isn't even close to the most talented team in their conference. Like that didn't happen for 15, 20 years. They're not even close to the most talented team in the Big 12. Like Arizona's got the same restrictions that Kansas has. Houston has the same restrictions that Kansas had. Houston is 8-9 deep and has a clear identity. Arizona, the exact same way. The fact that Kansas has 5 good basketball players it blows my mind watching them on a game in, game out basis. All right, we'll get to the Broncos trade that sent Jaylen Waddle from Miami to Denver. That's coming up. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everybody's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use your FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. March basketball is here, and what better way to celebrate it than with bonus bets with our friends at FanDuel? So make sure that you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the tournament. So whether you think Kansas has a chance to make it all the way to the Final Four, or maybe you think that Missouri has a chance to make it to the second weekend, remember, it's time to dance. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets expires 7 days receipt. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issues non-withdrawable bonus bets expires 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The 66th annual O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. World of Wheels Custom Car Show. March 20th through 22nd. Bartle Hall, Kansas City. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. See America's finest hot rods, customs, trucks, and motorcycles. Features and guest appearances. Cars and stars. All weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. World of Wheels. World of Wheels Custom Car Show. March 20th through 22nd. Bartle Hall, Kansas City. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER. I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Man, your yard looks great. Who does that for you, Gunther?
It's Gunter, no H.
You sure it's not Gunther?
Listen, we've been with Gunter for years. They take care of our lawn with 7 annual applications. We're weed-free and have a lusher, thick, green lawn. Trust me, it's Gunter.
No matter how you say it, we've been helping Kansas City homeowners improve their yards for decades. For greener, thicker lawns, it's Gunter.
I'm pretty sure it's Gunther. I'm pretty sure it's not.
In a field of thousands, one has emerged. Back from the brink, now poised to take its rightful place amongst the greatest lawns of all time. It's the birth of a true turf champion and a story that will live on at summer barbecues and in neighborhood group chats for all time. Your lawn is back, baby, and it's Weedman for the win. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get 1 free service.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Join Cody and Gold live from 10 until 2 at International Tap House in the Crossroads this Thursday and Friday to watch the tournament games, along with our friends at Circus Sports. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Slow through downtown. The good news, 35 northbound at Front. That was a crash involving a semi off to the right shoulder. Some onlooker delay. It looks like everybody's out of the way, but still it hasn't recovered. I see a lot of red through there. We do have southbound 35 as you approach 635 there at the split, left lane blocked. That's a stall. Scoot to the right. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I know I'm probably going to be called Bronco Dot. I don't dislike the Jaylen Waddle trade. Now, they overpaid. I feel like we always say that, but I think most of the time in which you give up a first-round pick, like, you can just throw out you overpay, unless you're trading for like a truly elite player. But I would even say that the Ravens, they tried to. They were going to overpay for Max Crosby in some ways. I think we throw that phrase out there enough. I like the logic of the trade. And I think the logic of the trade for the Broncos is it's our time now. I don't think that right now there's the best team in the AFC. I feel like for the last couple of years, we've been like arguing who's the third best team or the fourth best team in the AFC because we know it's clearly Kansas City. And we would laugh at you, scoff at you, call you a hot take artist if you suggested any team in the AFC could be better than Kansas City. Well, that's not the case heading into this. If you still think Kansas City is the best team, I think they're in the conversation for sure. But I think with the throne being open the way that it feels right now, I understand trying to go for it if you're the Broncos. It's a late first-round pick. They didn't trade the 19th overall pick. They had the 30th overall pick. We're going to trade the 30th overall pick. And they traded it for 3 years of Jaylen Waddle. They didn't trade it for one. They got Jaylen Waddle for the 30th overall pick, a third-round pick, and $50 million. I don't think that's a terrible move. Now, will it work? I don't know. There's 8 Super Bowl contending teams. Only one of them can win the Super Bowl. Only 2 of them can go. So from Rams, Eagles, Chiefs, Seahawks, only 2 of those teams can go to the Super Bowl. So, somebody's going to go all in or make an all-in kind of move. But, I look at the NFL right now. I would say almost every team that you think is a contending team is making an all-in kind of move. Buffalo made theirs with DJ Moore. The Rams have made their move to go get Trent McDuffie. The Seahawks have I think everybody is kind of making those we're all in, we're trying to win the Super Bowl in 2026 kind of move. I'm not mad at the Broncos for this being there. We're trying to go for it. We got a quarterback on a rookie contract. We think this gives us the best wide receiver in our division. We think if we can solidify the run game, we might have the best offense in the AFC West. I'm not mad at the Broncos for trying to go for it. Ultimately, the season is going to answer the question on whether or not they were right. But in a conference that you know is going to be very competitive at the top, in a division that you know is going to be very competitive at the top, I'm not mad at them making a move, a sort of buy now, short-term, hoping for big investment kind of decision. That's what I think every team should do if you got a quarterback on a rookie contract. When Kansas City was in this position, they went out and they traded their first-round pick to go get Frank Clark. They also traded a first-round pick to go get Orlando Brown. Like, these are the kind of moves you got to make, I think, when you are in the position like the Broncos, where you are clearly a Super Bowl contending team and going for it. So you push your chips in the middle of the table and you go get Jaylen Waddle.
I know why Chiefs fans are, talking bad about this move. It's because of where he's going, not what he's actually doing. But me and you see this one very similar, which is weird because I value draft picks so much. I think this will be a bad deal for the Chiefs, but I think it's a good deal for the Broncos. I don't mind an overpay when you're getting a value at below market, a player below market value, which me and you can disagree about how good Bo Nix is. I get my jokes off about his age all the time.
He's fine.
But he's still better than his contract right now. So as long as he's exceeding that, you can overpay at other places. And you mentioned the throne being open. Are we sure the Broncos aren't the best team in the AFC right now? They bring back that defense. They have a Super Bowl coach. They bring back that quarterback, which is probably their biggest question mark. And now they have the best wide receiver group in their division. I agree the crown is open, but I think if you had to pick one, you would pick Denver. So you pay the 105 cents on the dollar, and you try to be the best team in the AFC. If you think you can get in for a Super Bowl run, you attack with everything you got. The Chiefs have done it. The Bills tried to do it. They just failed. We've seen the Ravens try to do it. This is the Broncos' turn to take that shot.
Yeah, I know you guys hate when I make NBA comparisons, but it's the only comparison right now that makes a lot of sense to me. The AFC is more like the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, there's a clear favorite. It's Oklahoma City. Now, that's not to say they're not contenders. San Antonio is a contender. Denver is a contender. But heading into the Western Conference playoffs, Oklahoma City is clearly the favorite to go to the NBA Finals. I think it's different in the East. I think the Pistons could be one of those teams. I think the Knicks could be one of those teams. I think Boston could be one of those teams. Cleveland is in that conversation to be one of those teams. That's what the AFC feels like. So if you're telling me right now you think that Denver is the best team in the AFC, I cannot tell you you're wrong. Just like I can't tell you you're wrong if you think the Knicks are the favorite in the Eastern Conference. I might pick a different team than you pick, but I don't think that's a bad answer. If you tell me you think it's New England based off what they accomplished last year, and now they go in out and got Romeo Doubs, I don't think that's the wrong answer. It's not who I would pick, but I certainly understand why you feel that way. If you think it's Buffalo now was helping solidify that wide receiver room, if you tell me at the end of this that you're going to feel very differently about Kansas City, hey, I like the move they made at pass rush. They've shored up the secondary. Mahomes is coming back. Bieniemy is back. Kenneth Walker, I think they're back at the top. They're the best team in the AFC. That's just kind of where we are. I really think it's important to note, man, for the last 20 years in the AFC, it has been clear who the best team has been. It either was New England was the best team, and you were chasing New England, or, with almost basically no break, it went from Tom Brady was at the helm to then Patrick Mahomes took over, and the Chiefs have been the favorite for the last 7 consecutive seasons in the AFC. This feels like the first time heading into the year that the answer is, man, I don't know. Your guess is just as good as mine. It could be the Ravens. It could be Kansas City. It could be Denver. It could be New England. Another team could pop out of nowhere that we're not discussing and end up doing it. So if you're one of those teams that feel like you got a shot, I'm not mad at you for taking a swing. I'm not mad at you for taking a shot. Let's see if it works. I also like Jaylen Waddle, and that changes the conversation too. I think Waddle's really good. I think Waddle is somewhere in that 20 to 25 range. I think it's tough because when you hear that or wide receivers, like, oh, that's not good. I always think people underestimate how many good wide receivers there are in the National Football League. Like a guy like Terry McLaurin is not close to being a top 10 receiver in my mind. A healthy Terry McLaurin is a very, very good player that if you added him to your team, you would be excited about what he potentially could bring to you. I mean, Waddle had a great start to his career. His career kind of started to turn as Tua, I thought, became less effective. But now you go to this team, you're in a great system with, I mean, we've seen a head coach, we've seen that head coach get the most out of wide receivers. Back in New Orleans, they made wide receivers. Marcus Colston, Michael Thomas. We've seen them do this time and time again. If now the plan is to do that with Jaylen Waddle, I could see him having a big year in 2026.
I don't remember against break. Jaylen Waddle was the best wide receiver to change teams so far this offseason.
I agree with that.
I know A.J. Brown, I think, is better, so we'll see what happens with him, but that's a lot of noise, and we don't have a lot of answers there yet. But of all the wide receivers that have changed teams, I think Jaylen Waddle is the best one, and the Broncos got him for what on your draft chart becomes the 29th pick. Now, they have to absorb the contract, and it's a big price to pay, but if you're getting a top 25 wideout, this is kind of the price you have to pay in the NFL.
Keep it right here. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Don't wait until extreme temps hit. Anthony makes home comfort easy. Right now, buy a new AC and get a furnace free when you book at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest ball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun. Add some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing into your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC odds boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by seven-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Love college basketball? Gear up for another exciting season of college ball with a special offer from BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a college basketball odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any college basketball bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. It's that simple. Log in and enjoy our odds boost token to help you create another memorable season of college ball. Head for the net with BetMGM all season long. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Brought to you by Kalshi. Trade on anything.
The March tournament is here, and Kalshi is giving away $1 billion for a perfect bracket. $1 million to the top bracket and $1 million to charity. Free to enter. Download the app and use code THEFAN when you sign up. Eligibility requirements and official rules apply. See Kalshi.com/$1 billion-bracket for more info.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Very heavy down in the Triangle. There was a crash southbound 71, but it has been cleared. I still see some residual effects. It is yellow and some red spotted, so be prepared to tap your brakes through there. 35 southbound at 635. It is the left lane blocked by that stall. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob. This did not happen to me. I don't want to be like, oh, this happened. No, this did not happen. I just want your opinion. We got 4 minutes left in the show. If you get into an Uber, is it rude to tell the Uber driver to turn down their music?
Are you alone?
Yeah, it's just you. You and that one other person in the car. Is it rude to say, hey, can you? But I'm saying you're not using the phone. It's one thing if you're using the phone.
Are you talking to him or her, or is it just you want quiet?
Just the music is a little bit too loud, and you would like for them to turn the music down. Is it rude to ask the Uber driver to turn the music down?
No.
Is it rude to tell the Uber driver to turn the song because you think the song is offensive? Like if they are listening to their own music in the car, and let's say they're listening to a rap song or a song that has cursing.
And you don't like rap.
And you were just like, hey, this song is inappropriate. Can you turn it? Because it is their car, but you are paying for a service. Is it rude to do that?
I don't believe that's rude as long as you are kind in the ask.
Okay. Is it rude to tell the Uber driver that you do not want to talk?
No, I think as long, again, politeness, if they're like, hey, if they start asking questions, like, hey, man, I still want to talk, not rude at all.
Okay. All right, I just didn't know. Is there a way for you to just request a quiet ride? Just like a, hey, don't talk to me ride?
Is there a special instructions tab?
I don't know. I'm just asking. That's why I was wondering.
I guess it's possible there's a special instructions tab.
That should be available. Because like right now they have if you are a woman, you can request an Uber ride that is a woman driver.
Correct.
Like you can specifically, I want a woman driver. I would feel more comfortable. It's late at night. It's early in the morning. I don't want this strange man coming to pick me up.
It would be nice.
Can you request a quiet?
That would be a nice ability to do that.
Okay, I just was wondering.
Have you ever been in the opposite of one? Like, have you gotten to one where it's like there's like strobe lights and it's like a whole vibe? Those are fun when you're in the right mood.
I've been in a lot of different kind of Ubers. I was just in New Orleans, and the Uber driver had a gun on him. He had a gun.
Probably picked up some inmates recently.
We got in the car. I went with 2 other people. It's 4 men in the car, and we are sitting in the car. And he's like, "Hey, fam, I wanted you to hear my favorite rapper." I was like, "All right, cool." He started playing it. I guess his gun was on him, and he was getting a little bit uncomfortable, so he just set it right in the little center console. He just took it out. Boom. He was just riding. I just was like, yeah.
I mean,
It was New Orleans, so it was a little different.
It's a little different, but still. Just the idea that, hey, I'm uncomfortable
different.
with this on my hip. Let me just put it in the center console for anyone to grab.
It was different. I don't know.
Who was his favorite rapper? Was it him on SoundCloud?
No, it was like an
actual rapper.
Some young boy rapper. I don't know.
Because he was
some of that. I listen to rap, but some of this young boy rap, I'm like, bro, I'll just go back and listen to Migos. I'm okay. I don't need to listen to this.
I'm just the idea of someone being like, "Hey man, I love this rapper. You should listen to him." It's him.
Nah, it was some dude. I don't know. He recently had gotten killed though, so I don't know. Kind of the story of the genre, right? I guess I just said Migos, one of their members, was also recently killed too. So, R.I.P. to Takeoff.
And one of the Migos in jail too? Or is that a different?
No, they are not.
Okay.
One of them recently did get divorced from Cardi B, who was actually going to be in Kansas City tonight. Look at that full circle.
Very Irish.
All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you are out, be safe. Take care of yourself. Make smart decisions. If you're going to see Cardi B, have a great time. We'll be back tomorrow. We got our Papa Shot tournament tomorrow, and I look forward to beating you in Papa Shot. It's going to be a great day. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with